We are live.
Yay!
Welcome to Season 2, Session 6 of our Sea Dogs GURPS campaign. I am Gigerman, today's GM.
Hi, Gigerman.
This session's audio will be made available as a podcast. See the description for details. Yeah. All right, where are we? Junkie, do you have any character business for Sir Randall?
I do. I'm spending the total of 2 points, but to gain a dependent ally.
So it actually came out to 2 points?
Overall, for now.
Wow. Okay. What was
6-point disadvantage with a 6 points advantage as a 4-point disadvantage.
What was her total? Was it 75%?
75%.
I guess I need to get what is your current point total?
185.
Plus unspent.
185.
So, right, make a note because I still need to finish off that character. All right, Ronky, do you have any character business for Captain Hayden?
Negative.
Mel, do you have any character business for Claude?
Not right now.
Rigel Kent, do you have any character business for Dr. Spencer?
Yes, I spent 1 character point to improve my true sight ability to twice a day instead of just once a day. And did you want for me to go over the secret to phobia thing, or are you gonna do that later?
What did you end up doing? That was so you just wiped it out.
I just swapped it out entirely because it was the same point level.
Right. Okay. So now you have the phobia. What was it?
I dropped
Dementophobia?
Yeah, I dropped the secret that he had previously spent some time in Bedlam because clearly nobody cares, and that was points that, or basically free points. Didn't want to do that, so I changed it to phobia, dementophobia, where he's got an issue about he's afraid of insanity and or going insane, 12 or less.
I wonder if that triggers when he starts hearing phantom voices.
Yeah, I figured that would that would probably trigger it. So he's gonna have some disads that are gonna feed on one another.
Andricus, do you have any character business for Davino?
Not at this time.
Because he hasn't been here. He doesn't know what's going on.
So he hasn't gotten any points. Well, speaking of Davino, GM business.
He died.
So, finally, after all this time, I finally get to talk about the guns. So, when it comes to the ship's guns, we currently have the 4 2-pounders that came with it, and an additional 4 4-pounders that you guys picked up off the Rumjack.
The ghost ship.
So, now that the Master Gunners player is here, what I want to know is, which ones do you keep on deck?
What would the implications of that be if we keep the heavier ones on deck? Are there going to be weight or sailing impacts as part of that, or?
From a game mechanical granularity perspective, I don't think it's going to have an actual effect, but in reality, the additional weight above the center of gravity is going to cause some instability, but like I said, below the granularity of the game, I think, at this point. But the other issue with that is you don't have enough people to run them all. In fact, I don't think you had enough people to run all the 2-pounders. And the 4-pounders require more crew.
Okay. I'd pass along those details to good old Capitan and make the recommendation that until or unless we can expand the crew, that we stick with the 2-pounders just to make sure that we can keep up the rate of fire, even if the weight of fire is not as great.
Where the hell would we put more crew?
I don't know.
Next part of that question.
Hanging the hammocks.
Well, I mean, you could. The next part of that question is, where do you put the rest? Do you keep those in the hold or try to find somewhere else to put them?
I'd say, um,
Honestly, I
probably
can't think of
interfere with.
anywhere else to put them.
Yeah, well, it
In
depends
the
on
ocean.
Cargo. If that didn't impact our cargo space to an appreciable extent, then it might not be the most ideal to keep them below decks. And at that
Where
point,
else
I
would
think
we
they
put 'em?
leave the alternative of selling them.
Well, so so far you guys have not carried enough cargo at any given time to make it a problem to keep them in the hold. The only issue I would see with keeping them in the hold is you basically have to keep them along the center line, or you unbalance the ship. So there may be some arrangement issues.
I'm going to start looking at, selling the damn things.
Maybe. But alas, then you won't have bigger guns and more guns.
Well, we could always switch the bigger guns up and then the smaller ones, or did the bigger
So
guns
what's
require
the
more?
benefit of having bigger guns if you can't use them at all?
Oh, so we can't use them.
You can. It's just so when it comes down to gun crew, there's a crew requirement to actually be able to run the gun. So that is to load it, fire it, reload it, all the stuff. You could actually preload all the guns and somebody could run over there with a damn stick and fire them all individually. So if you had to
Seems
fire
like
them all,
dumb idea to me.
so having them, you can use them. You just may only be able to use them once before you have to go through a really long process of reloading. It's just a matter of what are the chances you're going to need them, and when you do need them, what do you need? And along that line, question number 3 regarding the guns is what kind of shot do you have prepared for those? So we've never actually
Explosive
really
shot.
discussed ammunition for them, but given that these guns are really small, it would make sense for you to use grape shot instead of round shot, but that is up to the master gunner.
Man, I can't help but to think we might be getting into a naval battle soon.
Or maybe I'm just being prepared.
Nah. That's you, Davino. You're the master gunner.
Apologies. I don't
It
know.
doesn't have to be a hard question.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, would the is the no, I suppose that wouldn't really matter since we're not using the 4-pounders. I'd say let's stick with the grape shot. If we're going up something big, then it doesn't really matter between the two. I don't think we'd be able to do much to it, either the 2-pound cannon or the grape shot. But grape shot against similarly sized ships might be our better bet.
Yeah, I'm presuming that if you end up using the guns, you are attempting to either shoot at crew or shoot at sails. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. All right, so I'll put you down as having grape ready to go. I was going to ask how much ammo you guys ended up pulling off the rum jack, but I don't think I'm going to bother with that right now. But at some point, we may end up wanting to know how much gunpowder do you have stored below the deck? Because if something happens to it, it could affect the amount of damage it'll do.
We could blow up too. That'd be cool.
Indeed. Point number 2. In brief, I wanted to mention for Andrika's sake that we made some slight adjustments to the whole stability thing. I'm not going to go in super depth right now, but you'll catch up, I'm sure.
Or you won't, and it'll be funny.
But I have implemented the changes that I discussed, that being that there will be 1 roll per voyage with a fail gaining 1 long-term point and an exceptional 5+ fail gaining 2. And that will be the extent of it.
Did we lose any of the ones that we had already gained from this or previously?
We have not gotten to that yet.
What?
Okay. But we are getting to that. So next point, Rigel decided to do this thing in his Warhammer game on Friday that I thought I would mention just to see what everybody thought of it.
Oh,
And that is,
haven't done it yet. Well,
well, yeah, he didn't get to it yet, but that the idea is when you're in a situation like, say, you're in Havana, you roll a will check, and on a fail, you spend extra money on knickknacks and shit.
Yeah, for context, in that particular game, the characters are going to are in a city that a really big festival started. So I just thought it would be amusing because I'm sure we've all gone to sort of festivals like med fairs or something like that, and inevitably you walk out having spent money you didn't need to spend because things were there and they went ooh shiny.
As a player, I kind of lean both ways in some regards because it's a neat little addition, but at the same time, that's taken away agency, and I tend not to like that. So if you're not keen, I understand.
Yeah, it's just determining how much extra money you waste is the big deal.
Think about that for a bit while I move on. I have decided that the shore leave SOP stuff that we have been messing around with, that basically what's going to happen is if you're not looking for anything, I'm just going to sign you up as looking for rumors. In which case, everybody will make a roll every time. And if you don't have anything in particular, we'll see if you hear any rumors. So that way, nobody has to think about it. We'll just roll. Which does mean I got to get a couple of other rolls. I'll talk about that in a minute. FYI, I forgot to mention last time that I had been putzing around with the currency on people's character sheets because the party sheet amalgamates all of those things, and if they're not spelled the same, they come up as different items. But I noticed that some of you were actually putting down the country of origin on the currency types to sort them out to yourselves, and I decided rather than fight you on that, I'll join you instead. So I went in and redid them with the country of origin on there, so they're all the same, and now they show up on the party sheet properly. In case you were wondering why it might have been different.
That wasn't until you started mentioning the currency, and then I go, hey, this doesn't look right.
You haven't set up the weight and value.
No, I haven't, because I still don't know how that's going to behave.
That's so slack.
Yeah, well, screw you.
That's fair.
I noticed that Sir Randall has just the clothes on his back at this point as far as clothing goes, and I thought I would bring up the idea of he probably needs some actual status to a suit, for lack of a better term. Formal wear, I guess. So when he's going to these soirees, he has something appropriate to wear other than looking like an adventurer that's been out on the sea for a while. In that regard, I was going to mention that textiles are a big import, legal or otherwise, in Spanish territories in the Caribbean. So he can easily find some really spiffy stuff around here if
Yeah,
you
not
decide to
knowing how
start
much
looking for it.
anything costs is going to be pretty difficult because I'm used to GURPS and I have no idea how the exchange rate from reals to GURPS goes.
I have a list of how much everything costs on the wiki. And if I recall correctly,
More windows. Stand
Need
by.
another monitor.
I know, right?
yeah, that. So I can't put the link in. Well, actually, I
not?
can cheat, I suppose. The link doesn't work right because it has parentheses in it. If I paste it in there, but that's the wiki link to the prices. There should be plenty of mentions of clothing items just so you can get an idea of where that is.
Is there just like I throw some money and have an outfit, or is this like I have to buy things individually? Because I'm still trying to get to
Now,
it.
generally, when it comes to GURPS, they do the you pay a percentage of your cost of living for your clothing, and so you could do that. You can use GURPS for that if you have some kind of problem with how much of what you got. Then we can sort that out. And I don't need you to figure it out right now. This is just something to I'm putting that bee in your bonnet.
In the basic set, under the cost of living type stuff, I can't remember exactly what page, but it does say they do have a listed value for a full wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
So that would probably be practical for Randall to have.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm totally down for throwing the money down for a full wardrobe. But if I have to pick and choose every darn thing to make a full wardrobe, I'm like, you're kidding.
Well, now, just since you're saying that, if there is something that you need to know, like you need to know what a suit cost in total, then tell me and I will go find out. And then I'll put it on that damn price list so it'll be there.
10 shillings, 6 pennies is cost of various wigs. Just so Mark knows.
Okay, wigs.
right.
But
Well,
I
you're
agree. I probably should have somewhere on listed a wardrobe.
All right, so along a
One
similar
guinea
line.
is 12 French lessons.
So the next point, expenditures for daily stuff. So one of the reasons why I had created that story, which was the commerce thing, shore business, right? That one with the quick prices at the top, was because in order to make it easier, what I figured would be the easiest thing to do was just to figure out how much money that you guys are typically going to spend per stop per day, so you can just write it off and you're done. As it stands, based on what I have broken down here, it looks like most of you are going to be spending 10 shillings a day. Claude is probably going to be spending 2 shillings a day. And Sir Randall is going to be spending probably 20 shillings a day.
Woo, buddy.
And shillings to reals is how's this
I
working?
believe reales are two to a shilling. By the way,
I'm broke as
Sir
a
Randall
joke.
is broke.
I am
That's
broke
'cause
as
he
a
has
joke.
Yeah, because he bought a boat.
Sir Randall has no money. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but I don't think you guys have been tracking this stuff all this time.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think I may have screwed that up myself and forgot about it.
So, in that vein, pay. So right now, I think Claude has got the most money of any of you because Claude got paid up front when he joined the crew.
Plus, he keeps stealing all of our stuff.
Which
That's why we have
incidentally
no
is
money.
why Claude
That's why Randall has no money.
has pounds listed on his sheet, because that was what he was given, 3 pounds 10 shillings. Now, for Claude's purposes, you're not getting paid again until the end of the voyage, which is at the 6th month.
Which will be interesting since apparently Sir Randall has no money to pay everybody. I think it's time for a
Exactly.
mutiny.
So the deal with the partners, as agreed originally, was that the partners were going to be getting their cut of the profits. And there wasn't any actual discussion about, pay and how you guys are going to get more money for yourselves during the process. And it may have been assumed that you guys would be dipping into company funds and that sort of thing. But when it comes down to it, Sir Randall has got a much higher cost of living than everybody else.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some treasures here. Go or become pirates.
Now, if you guys were planning to take it out of profits, I can tell you right now that the current profits are £16 15 shillings.
Which isn't a lot.
And that's not very much, comparatively anyway. So if you guys split that all all 6 ways or 5 ways, I guess in this case, then that's gonna leave you with a couple of days worth.
I need to get at least 1,000 pounds apparently, so I can buy a baronet title.
So, Sir Randall spent quite a bit of money in Havana, and he doesn't actually have any.
That's
Which
why we're
means-
leaving Havana quickly.
Which means that we're going to have to sort out this question at some point in the very near future. So I don't know if Sir Randall had intended on dipping into the company fund for that, or if everybody's okay with that, or
I
what
thought-
you guys
yeah,
want to do.
Oh, that's weird. Because, like, using some of the funds for a thing was like a couple reals or something like that, which I dropped. Because you said it was like 2 reals per day or something like that, or for the coach, which I paid for.
That's pretty
Did you?
funny, though.
Yeah, I did pay for those out of personal funds because you were saying the coach around. So, and that was
Yeah.
at least 2 days of coach.
No, I did
So-
mention that, yeah.
You populated this before.
Yeah, well, I kept forgetting to bug everybody about this stuff, at least in season 1, and here we are. So, what I am not, so 2 things. 1, I am not going to go backtrack and figure out what everybody should have paid up to this point and then dock you every. The other thing I was going to do was allow you to use personal plot points.
Ooh, well, there
I
you
don't
go.
know how much they'll be worth exactly, but if you're willing to use those, I don't know how many everybody has, but somebody has at least one.
I have 1.
Yeah, I have
So
one.
I have
what
5.
I'm thinking,
How do you have 5?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It just
use any.
says personal prep plot points 5.
That's just what he ended up with when he started. Those. So what I will allow definitely at this point, if you spend one of those points, you are covered for everything up to now.
Done.
And
Done.
How
after
do
this
we
point,
recover personal prep plot points?
well, that was going to happen at the end of this leg of the journey, which happens to be ending in Campeche. So lucky you. Of course, don't ask me where you're going to get any of this prep stuff. It's magic. And
Well,
So
apparently
that's all of those things.
Just so that I understand, so that cost per day is only when we're on shore, like
Yeah.
not when we're out in. Okay, just making sure. I went ahead and settled up for the Havana time because that was, I think, 4 days.
Okay. Yeah, you should be good to go.
Yep.
You could probably afford to buy more clothes or something. Okay, maybe not. Clothes are expensive.
Eh.
And if you have questions about what things cost, refer to the prices thing. That's why it's there.
yeah, they are. Holy cow! I was trying to figure out what the cheapest suit would sort of be there for Mark, and it's like I'm looking at 75 pounds just for the waistcoat, coat, and breeches.
Yeah, not just the prices on the list are historical, but the fact that clothing prices are really high is historical because I've seen research of people complaining about that.
What's a cravat? Is that the necktie thing?
That's the
Yeah.
necktie thing.
That's a freaking pound.
Yep. Rogers got off easy apparently when he got his suit made by Miss Deering.
Apparently.
Okay, and with that, we will get moving. Harbor Log, Tuesday, February 20th, 1725, Havana, Cuba. Warm rain with a light breeze from the northwest. Having concluded their collective business in Havana, the expedition is preparing to depart for Campeche and the supposed treasure that awaits them there.
It's going to be a thing written in a language that says the real treasure was the friends you found along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't cover whether we were going to get rid of some of the long-term stability things.
I haven't got to that yet.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
We're almost there, dude. Hang on. All right. So let's see. That part can actually wait a minute before I get back to that. We need to deal with the plotting or the departure procedures. And we will try to get through this real fast. So, having already discussed the route last time, and I forgot to zoom it again.
Lame.
As discussed last time, you guys said that you were going to do a straight shot all the way through to Campeche. That is not making any stops along the way. You can follow the route here. And I don't believe we made any rolls in that regard last time. So the first roll we need to make is the area knowledge. Whoever has the best, I believe that's going to be Hayden.
It's not me. I should put points into that.
Made by 5. Mental note 5. So that means you know that the route is going to be around 650 miles. As stated last time, it's going to be between 4 and 7 days, probably, depending on the weather. You know which directions the trade winds normally blow. You can also be aware that right here, or actually, if I reverse that, that would be more appropriate, is the Gulf Stream. So there is a really strong current going through here. And if you did not know that was coming, you could very easily end up in friggin' Florida.
We should go to Florida.
And you are also aware of the currents along the north coast here of Cuba. That they're not super strong, maybe enough to be noticeable, but they flow in the wrong direction from where you're going typically, and there is a tendency for them, at least around certain areas like the Las Coloradas, to push you into the reefs. So you have to be careful around those.
Let's not do that.
Agreed.
All right. Next part is the navigation. So navigation roll, you got -3 for the overall distance. You got +2 for the good tools that you have. You got +1 because you're following a known trade route through this area. And -2 for the currents for a total of -2. I believe that will be Hayden again, making the navigation roll. He can get assistance if he chooses. However, the player is not here that he typically gets it from. How hard can it be? Apparently not that hard. 7 up. Your departure time was as soon as Sir Randall gets back to the ship. And your estimate is still, now you would say your estimate's probably closer to between 4 and 6 instead of 4 and 7. You've narrowed it down a little. All right. Next part is pilotage. You guys did not elect to get a pilot to take you into the bay. I am assuming that you are probably not going to elect to get a pilot to lead you out of the bay. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now the rest of you. The story has all the other things on it that you can do to assist.
Is this you only get one roll on this on the fit out?
You only get one roll, yes.
Okay.
So Hayden already did the navigation. He is usually assisted by that. Spencer is usually doing the administration. He does that again. That's 1. Let's see. Who else? Payne is not here to do the leadership, so I guess he's not going to be available for that.
You slacker.
Right?
Davino can do the freight handling role, and Claude can help.
Oops.
Last time, Claude didn't help very much.
No. I don't even think Claude has that skill for freight handling.
But, well, you were learning
That's why
last
she
time,
didn't.
I think.
That's why I didn't help last time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if you'd like, you could put a point in it.
That is IQ -5. Otherwise,
Do you want me to actually try this?
Unless you got a better idea.
well, it
Sure.
specifically states many of the above rolls may substitute seamanship at -4.
That's true. You could just
If
do
that's
seamanship
better.
-4. I will allow that if it's better.
Well, it's probably going to be better than our
Makes sense.
IQ -5.
Yeah, it is by 1 point.
Well, that's better.
Nope.
Eh. Okay, so that is going to get us a total of 9, looks like. So 9, that's going to be 4. 4 plot points. Where's the thing?
Over there.
You now have 4 listed. Good job. All right.
Well, I guess that's something.
Moving on. Actually, let me write that down over here too. Done. Scroll. All right, so clearing. Now we get to do the stability thing. So you guys are each going to go -1 long-term stability point for each full day of leisure. While at port, at this point, everybody that had some basically wiped them all out, which is as designed. Next time, you probably won't gain as many.
Well, I guess that's something.
Next one. Everybody needs to give me a health +4 into the box.
Any penalties to Hayden due to his condition?
Yeah, you take a -20.
No, I don't think so. That's not going to affect your health anyway.
Actually, I know how I'll do it. What was the bonus?
Oh, it's +4. So does chronic pain actually affect health?
I think it's only IQ and Dex, but I would have been happy for it to affect health.
Well, I don't think that would have actually been applicable here anyway. So let's see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Still need a roll.
Missing somebody.
I'm just checking, including fit.
Yeah. Sir Randall, Claude, Spencer, Blanche. Oh, you haven't rolled for Hayden yet.
Whoops.
Okay, there we go. So
That's
that
not
wasn't in the box.
That's not in the box. Okay, never mind. Well, or you can just roll it in the box. All right, so that's that, that's that, that's that, and that's that. Actually, I should probably write that down. So Spencer is that.
Yes, he is super amazing and awesome.
Claude is that.
Over there.
Davino is that. Hayden is that. Sir Randall is that. You guys are kind of consistent, actually. And Rogers is not here to roll his own. I'm wondering, let's have Mel roll for Rogers.
You're
That
trying to kill
is
him, aren't you?
brutal.
It's his own fault for not being here.
Dude, he's in Cuba.
remember
He's
what
like,
his,
screw you guys.
Health is.
Yeah, I didn't add a mod or anything to that, so
That's
add whatever
fine.
mod needs.
All right, what's his health? His health is that. So that means
Check to see if he's
okay.
fit.
Oh, yeah, I think he is actually. Is he? Nope, wrong tab. Come on. Yeah, he is. Done. All right. I need one more roll from Payne, 3d6 into the box.
What's in the box?
Noted. Okay, next bit, customs. So, you guys will be checked over by customs while you guys are preparing to leave, and you will get your clearance papers and all that crap done. So first off, it'll take 1d6 hours to get processed, unless you want to influence, quote unquote, the process to allow you to go faster. Would you like to do so?
Well, we're waiting for Sir Randall to show back up.
Apparently, Sir Randall will not be available to help in this regard.
That dude, such a slacker.
I know, right?
Yeah. 1d6, it sounds like.
1d6 it is then.
Yes.
Wow, that really wanted to just go everywhere.
Well, it's kind of the way I threw it onto the chat window too.
All right, let's see. So I need to make a note.
We're totally falling behind.
Mm-hmm.
This is all Sir Randall's fault.
Actually, I suppose that means that when Sir Randall shows up, he might be able to nix some of that if he wants to get involved. And he may. We'll see what he manages. In the meantime, so when it comes down to the clearance papers, what destination will you list? And basically, I'm just asking as a formality. You don't necessarily have to list that you are going to Campeche. You could say something else like you're going to Mexico or to the Yucatan more specifically, or you could list somewhere else entirely. But if you do that, somebody will definitely flag you as a smuggler.
Let's see. So if Spencer is the person who ends up reluctantly handling this crap, he's probably not even going to think about that and just say, Campeche.
Well, and I was going to add that you guys have been advertising for passengers and freight going to Campeche,
Right.
so it's kind of pointless to actually say something else, which is why it's a formality. So officially, you are listing Campeche. This is fine. All right. Outstanding debts. I don't know that anybody has anything in particular except as discussed. We will deal with that later. Well, actually, I guess we won't for everybody that's paid the plot point for it. Next bit. We need a control roll -2 for the handling to undock and clear the harbor. And that, I suppose, will be Hayden rolling ship handling. Normally, this is also an average with the seamanship of everybody else, but I haven't decided what the best way to handle that is.
Yep, we're totally just saying screw it.
Wow.
We're going to leave Sir Randall behind.
Okay. So that's going to be an 8. Done.
Hayden sounds really professional. He seems to know what he's doing as he's giving instructions to clear moorings and stuff.
Now, FYI, the wind, actually, hold on.
All ahead, port speed, Mr. Sulu.
So, as stated before, you guys are down here. That green really doesn't show up very well here. You guys are down here-ish for the time being. And the winds are coming from the northwest, which is exactly the wrong direction. So getting out of here is going to be a pain in the butt. The ideal thing to do would be to use the outgoing tide to help assist, which at midday is actually going out. So you'll probably be okay, but that depends on how long it takes you to get through customs.
Apparently 6 hours.
Oh, right. One more thing. I need somebody to give me a universe roll for the traffic.
Or does that need to be in the box or not?
No, that's fine. Traffic is normal for the day.
I'm wondering, is this image accurate? Because I don't know of any ships that moor like that.
I have actually seen photographs of it doing exactly that.
How do they?
Of course,
Because
I've
there's
also
no.
seen. Well, so I have a theory about that. What I think is going on here is these ships that are packed together like that are probably long term, and not actually loading and unloading, and that they probably move somewhere else to do the loading and unloading, where they don't have a jetty or anything to moor to. But that's just a guess.
Okay.
But we're
Because
about
it doesn't look like there's any docks or jetties or anything like that go alongside the ships.
There are some here and there. I believe I've also seen it where they'll have barges pulled up that are basically just like little docks and everything on their own. But you can pull up to the wharf sideways and unload that way, which, as far as I can tell, is kind of how it's done. Because I've seen plenty of pictures of that too.
Got dock workers there as well, so they can heave from have ropes. And
Yeah,
pull
well, you don't want to go over the
ship
nose
in
of it, though.
I didn't say it was a good idea.
Yeah. All right. So, for the day, you guys got out early and got started doing your prep work to get underway. And as I said, it is raining. It has been raining most of the morning.
Well, it's a good
although
thing I
it
have
is warm.
a hat.
And as stated, the wind is kind of weak for the day. And blowing from the northwest, which is fine when you are backing out of the backing out of the docks. But when trying to get out of the bay, it's going to be a little annoying. Slow going, probably. Once the crew starts collecting and boarding, of note, Red. Oh, need the crew thing. Of note, Red comes aboard bearing a handful of flowers that apparently he got suckered into buying on the way in, and everybody starts ragging on him for doing that because flowers on board a ship are bad luck. Apparently, it's related to funerals and graves and that sort of thing. So that's it's a no-no on the ship. So people around him start to grab at it and throw his flowers overboard before it infects anything. But Dora happens to snag one and sticks it in her hair and then sticks her tongue out at everybody.
Bunch of superstitious ninnies.
Red and Hooper have also apparently brought aboard several handfuls of some kind of wood, which they will tell you is for whittling, so Red can make some money for Hooper and himself.
Right. This is the thing that
check the wood for termites.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Boar beetles, etc.
And probably about once per crewman, you've heard somebody ask, "Whose raspberry brandy is that?"
Yeah, and he's totally like, "Oh yeah, that's mine."
During the loading process during the early day while it's raining and whatnot, you guys, at least one of the crewmen mentioned that he thought he saw somebody back in the vendor stalls and whatnot that was looking at the ship like he was watching us. And as he said that, a lot of you are remembering, didn't I see somebody kind of lurking around yesterday or the day before or something like that? And in fact, Sir Randall and Claude and
I absolutely
Captain
saw
Hagen
nothing of the sort.
did actually see something during the last few days. Didn't think anything of it at the time until they just mentioned it now. But now that you're thinking about it, it's like, yeah, I think maybe that could be one of those guys or the same guy. But as Spencer did not see a damn thing. In fact, he crit failed that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I totally forgot to let you guys know that you were seeing those things last time. Among other things, while you guys are getting loaded and getting the ship prepped to leave, you notice that Red is somewhat less than 100%, and a little bit later in, he will actually go to Mr. Spencer and say, "Doc, I don't feel so great."
Oh dear. Well, it looks like I need to diagnose his issues, and I shall do so.
Indeed.
Presuming that there. Wow, I tried to fail that one.
Well, you take note of the symptoms that you can observe, and
he's been into that
reports,
raspberry brandy.
He has not been into the raspberry brandy. That is not his. And you will determine that he has got the con crud from town.
Great. Well,
the question is anyone else?
Usually for medical stuff, it's just like patching up injuries and such like that. How do you treat that using GURPS? This is going to be first aid.
It's physician. So if you would like to roll that now, I will allow it. You can make a physician roll based on your current tool set, which you've got an improved tool set. That includes better medicines, I believe.
Yes, which I don't have the stuff for. What's that? +1,
I think it was just
+2?
+1. I think you just got good.
Right, and I think the diagnostic manual also applies to the physician.
Oh, yeah, it might. All right, well, you got a plenty good roll.
He's going to have to eat all of the flowers that he did bring aboard.
That'd be kind of funny.
And conveniently enough, there's some raspberry brandy that he has to drink as well.
All right. Just to simplify, go ahead and roll a perception-based diagnosis for me, if that's any different.
Checking. Does not look like it would be any different. Yeah. So I know there are some penalties to some diagnosis that could have applied as like internal injuries and rare disease, but I don't think necessarily either of those are going to.
No, those aren't going to apply. And you would have that. Okay, you did put the manual in there. All right. So, given that you were just starting to treat Red for some kind of cold, flu, whatever it is, you'll start poking around, and you suspect Furlong may be coming down with something as well, but he hasn't said anything.
Right. I have to keep my eye on him. I don't want to, us to lose a week as we all die horribly on the boat.
Now, you can recommend light duty or no duty, depending on how you want to handle that.
No, not at the moment. I don't think.
Just let them go.
Yeah, keep an eye on them, and then if they start to seriously worsen, then step in. Because I know it's like if I got con crud, it's just like I just feel like crap. I don't necessarily I'm not down or anything.
Yeah, it's not the kind that has extra duty attached to it. All right, and around midday, still raining. You guys are mostly just thumb twiddling, waiting for customs and
What about Sir Randall? When did he
getting
show
ready
up?
to go. And around that point, Sir Randall finally shows up at the docks.
Wow, he's got a one of those rainy clouds hanging right over his head.
Sir Randall boards
Actually,
the
I'm
ship.
probably a little bit more. Yeah, it's like, yeah. Is it a rain cloud or is it more of the thunder cloud?
It could have
Probably more of
stormy. It could have lightning.
It's
That's
probably
still a rain cloud.
it's probably more of a thunder cloud because I'm really, really cheesed off at
The GM.
In Sims, what's the icon for when your sim gets sad?
Oh, not sad. I'm mad. I'm upset with Bonsignard.
He could be sad too. He could be sad and
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of
That's sad.
sadness too. Yeah,
So if you're both, are you smad?
Smad?
mads. Oh,
sure
we
there's
were wondering
something.
where you were at.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Apparently, Bonsignard set a rather devious and well, I don't want to talk about it. And I kind of wave, the letter at Spencer's like that that stinking frog. And then Captain Hayden, I take up for you. It's like we're ready to set off. Set off whenever ready. Oh wait, it looks like you are ready.
We
Good
are,
man.
sir. We are just waiting to be cleared by customs. And then we can be on our way.
Good. Excellent.
I have
Then
to
I'll
eye
mun-
him to see if he's sick.
I hand I kind of like, you believe this man?
I don't know what's going on.
The letter that he's waving in Spencer's face has a seal on it, and it has not been opened.
I'm sure this is just another one of
Randall changed
Bonsignard's
his mind
way
about
of
that.
gloating. And then I kind of, I don't know. How would I hand it to Spencer, or just kind of, leave it where Spencer can take hold of it?
There is a table back there. I think there was mention of slapping it down or something.
Yeah, I would definitely slap it on the table and kind of go back to taking stuff out of pockets and
Where
putting stuff
is
away as in prep for the journey.
Where's the image of the deck? Because I'm wondering if I would be indoors or out.
Oh, well, that depends, I guess. Well, you're probably indoors because it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, all right, if he throws it down on my table, I am nosy, thanks to my quirk of being nosy, and I will not even think about it as I pick it up and break the seal and read it.
Spencer's player has been informed what the message says.
Yes.
Can't
How does he
believe this
approach?
Bonsignor. I assume he's just more gloating, but man, you'd think he'd have a little bit more class than that.
Oh yes, you're absolutely right. Simply boasting about how he's smarter and generally better than you are. And I'm gonna be like holding it over the candle so I can make sure to see it. Oh, I'd strongly recommend against reading. It might just make your mood even worse. Oh, how clumsy of me as it catches on fire.
Man, that thing just went up.
Careful, man. Don't burn the ship down. Ah,
Oh yeah, yes.
bollocks. Anyway, like I said, as you say, probably just more gloating on that freaky deaky Frenchman's part.
Yes. And well, I suspect your lady friend is as much of a victim of the Frenchman as you are. A pity.
And that's what gets me. It's like this poor young lass just brought about. Man, she was very sweet though. I will miss that. Might have to make plans to come back to Cuba.
Still, the chances of you running into her in in city are exceedingly low.
The sad thing is, Dr. Spencer, is
Sir
she's
Randall
an
is
amazing woman. She's
Sir Randall is
absolutely
interrupted
Good
by
humor.
by Hooper jumping through the door down the stairs and says, "Sir Randall, your lady friend is there on the docks."
Wait, what?
I think she's
What a
running from
coincidence.
something.
What a twist! So I guess I'll kind of look at Spencer as like, I've known Mr. Spencer to say things and have things occur, and I'm like, and I shake my head like, nah. It's like, well, I guess I gotta go.
Well, you don't
Just
have
all-
to. I mean, you could have just spent the points for no reason.
And so up I go to the deck.
And indeed, actually, hang on. So just for orientation purposes, this is actually the Havana docks in the area where you guys are, I think, or roundabout. And
They're busy.
this is a much later image, obviously.
What?
But you can see that these boats are parked sideways against the wharf, and that there's a lot of crap on the wharf, generally speaking. But there's this distance between the wharf and these little awnings or whatever the hell this is back there, where they have like vendor stalls and stuff like that.
To sell you the crap you don't need.
Just so you get an idea of the geography here. So, assuming you are in the ship at the dock, you will look out across the wharf and see back in the stall area that Lady Amira is there.
Where's the stall area on this image?
Under the roofs.
You didn't change the picture like you were going
I did.
to a third one. No, I was figuring it would be completely different.
Oh, no, it's not completely different. I just fixed it.
No, that is not as far. That's farther away than I thought it would be.
It's not that bad, but there is a bit of distance there. So, Sir Randall pops up to the deck, looks out, sees her over there. It also looks like she's sort of avoiding someone who is moving in her general direction. Also, she is not dressed in the fine dress that you recall.
Which is why you should have changed
something
the
a bit
picture.
something a bit more common at this point.
She's going incognito, obviously. Does she notice us, or is she just like looking around? Or
I would say that she keeps looking back toward the ship and sees you come up on deck and sort of waves at you, but with a not so much a happy hi look. It's more of a somebody's after me look.
Oh, so it's not longing looks, extended longing looks.
So, being as the impulsive individual that I am, I'll look in the direction of whoever looks like he's stalking her, look at her, and kind of like wave her forward, like, "Whew."
There,
He said, being the impulsive guy, I was like, oh God, he's about to jump onto one of the cannons and shoot it.
No.
there are a couple of rough-looking fellows that are intent upon her position, and as she looks around and real quick and makes a path and starts to run for it, but the guys are catching her up.
Okay, so because I'm again being absolutely impulsive. Do we have any lines nearby that I can grab hold of and do the swing and catch her and pull her off the dock thing?
Well, as it happens, as you are laterally parked against the wharfs, and the guys are out there sort of getting ready with the braces to back the topsails. Somebody's standing there with a rope in hand.
Oh yes, totally gonna grab this rope, take a few steps back, get a good grip, and hey, you guys. No, I
Well,
won't
I was
yell
going to
that.
say, if it isn't got the Tarzan yell, then it's a fail.
Well, it's the Earl Flynn, uh,
Does he
uh,
Tarzan yell?
he does Tarzan yell, but I wasn't thinking Tarzan Errol Flynn. Was he Errol? Was he a Tarzan? I think he was.
I don't
No.
think he did Tarzan.
Errol Flynn did not do Tarzan.
He did not do Tarzan, but he's done all
Mm.
kinds of fun swashbuckling things. So, in true Errol Flynn fashion, I will take a mighty leap, swing out, attempt to grasp her, and swing back onto the boat. Whisking her away from the evil machinations of these men.
Well, let's see here. I completely forgot to write this stuff down, but it's on Martial Arts 105.
I have jumping, acrobatics,
lang-
lots of pennies, and luck.
You don't have
And
to jump to
Daredevil.
reach it.
Oh, he's got Daredevil. That's going to help.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely get it for that. Let's see. You should be able to reach that, or at least close enough. Let's give me a universe reaction, see if it's long enough to actually get you all the way there, or just a bit short.
He's going to roll crappy and it's going to break in mid-swing.
Let's see, reaction roll. Where's my reaction rolls? There's just 3D.
First page, main, reactions. Under move encumbrance. Come on, it hasn't been that long. Universe is cold and indifferent.
All right, it'll be a bit short for you to grab her and swing back, but you can at least close the distance very quickly. Let's see, looks like you need to make an acrobatics roll at the speed penalty for the distance travel. So I'm gonna call that 7 yards. That's maybe a bit long, but we'll call it that. So 7 yards, that's gonna be a penalty of -4.
+1 for Daredevil.
+1 for Daredevil.
Okay,
You
so
are
I'm
not
gonna
swinging by the legs.
I have to use 2 points of pennies. Make that a success.
Success lets you swing and hop off at any point along your path. You're good for that.
So 2 pennies
Okay.
down.
All right. That looks like it. So that will drop you basically right in front of her as the other two guys are catching up, and they're obviously going to see you show up right there and assume that you are challenging them somehow.
Ha ha ha.
How do you present
Good.
yourself?
Da, 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 da. Good sirs, I'll move my hand to this sword without drawing it. I dare say you seem to be in some kind of there seems to be some kind of mistake. You are accosting this young woman, and I will not have it. Go on, my dear. Make your way to the ship. I'll ensure these individuals are, move along on their way.
They seize her as she attempts
Oh, I
to
will
move
attempt
around
to-
behind you, while stating that, well, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
One of them seizes her while she is attempting to move around behind you. The other one announces to you that this woman is my property, and I will be taking her back to work.
Let's see. I wouldn't. Well, I probably have an idea of what he means, but I'm going to ignore that in this particular instance. And
All right.
well,
Looks
I
like
will.
Claude's doing something impulsive too. Sweet.
I will move. Let's see. I want him to. I will definitely. So I will draw the sword, unhand her, or I will unhand you.
You are attempting to intimidate, I take it.
I would guess that's probably a true statement, though I don't have intimidate.
Do you not?
No, apparently I'm not I don't generally resort to intimidation.
You do have a sword, and you have a trustworthy look about you.
I think it's strength or will -5 plus or minus whatever bonuses.
So Claude has intolerance for bullies.
Mm-hmm.
So Claude is impulsively going to grab his Eskrima and hop off the ship and move to assist and be very, very angry.
Oh
Angry
yeah,
face.
this is definitely going to trigger. Well, I was going to say that
Or
they
acting
outnumber-
-3, then that would be a success.
Ooh,
I
there you
have
go.
12 acting.
You also have fast talk, I believe, if not.
I do have fast talk.
So you could use specious intimidation and get a +3 on that if you're willing to do that.
For sure. Absolutely. My fast talk is a 16. So.
What are you going to tell them?
It's a good question.
Others
would,
are willing
My
to.
crew.
Yeah,
Others can help if you like.
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, so it's like, she has book. Yeah, she is
Davino,
under
point
my
the guns
protect.
at them.
Yeah, right. Let's see. She's under the protection of myself and my crew, and if you do not depart, unhand her and depart this dock now, I will ensure that my crew turns you into a bloody paste. DeVito?
Is Davino going to help?
Standing
too?
ready.
Does he have his tree trunk?
Oh, yeah.
Worse, he has a monkey on his shoulder who starts just screaming.
All right. So I'll. It's not really all that specious actually, but I'll go ahead and give it to you anyway. So you can roll your fast talking. Holy crap.
So success by 3 then.
So yeah, that gets. So what are the totals here? Failed by 2 normally. No, it was
if it was
0
acting minus. Yeah, so success by 0 based on acting. And I don't know if the sword in hand gives me any bonuses, which might be 1. I don't know. If
that kind of goes into the displays.
Okay, so then if the fast talk gives me a +3, then it's success by 3
or 4, depending
or
upon
4. Yeah,
depending on whether it gets the bonus.
And you were going to be outnumbered 2-1, but now they're outnumbered 2-1 ish, and they have a suspicion at this point, based on your fast talk roll, that they may be outnumbered like 10-1.
Especially
so,
with
seems like they're probably not going to make it.
What's the loyalty of the crew towards Randall? That'd be really funny too. Where it's like if the rest of the crew starts boiling out of the ship, and Captain Hayden's like, "Wait a minute, okay, yeah, go
I
do."
think everybody had a loyalty of around 12-ish or something like that initially. Some of them have more than that, as they have been assisted in the meantime. Although, speaking specifically of Furlong, Payne was not present for that.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't have anything extra recorded there. But anyway, they're at least average loyalty, if nothing else.
I just need to see haul up that big ass gun and go, ooh.
So the leader will make his resistance roll, which actually wasn't bad, but not nearly as good. The guy in charge, you might you might be tempted to call him a pimp or a handler or a master or something. I don't know what's actually period
A
appropriate.
thug, a
The
miscreant.
He says something like he's putting a good face on it, so he's not like screaming and pissing himself. But he looks at you, looks at everybody else, looks at the little guy
Eyes.
with the sticks and the
Eyes
big
goes
guy
over
back
to
there with the
the
tree trunk.
trunk.
It's like spits, says it's damaged goods anyway.
You should stab it.
yep. I will definitely take offense at that, and it's like,
following me.
watch your tongue, sir. I'll make sure it is out of your head before you know it. Apologize to the lady.
Let's see. Given the current status of his resistance, I would say that he will look back at you with that F-you look on his face and bow and say, in Spanish, of course, my deepest apologies, my lady. And then just kind of back on out of the way.
Does she go and buy a Mira or Mercedes in general?
So you're a Mercedes something Spanish.
De Luna.
De Luna.
Yep, it's De
Something
Luna.
Spanish.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
please don't go.
Come, Amira, let's return to our ship.
Yeah. She stops cowering behind you after the guys start to back off, and as you turn to return to the ship and see her there, you notice that she does in fact have that flower with her.
I will smile. I see you got my note. Well, before we create any more of a scene, I say let's. My captain has the ship ready to go.
Unfortunately, you guys have no idea when you're going to see the customs guy.
Oh. Oh, we haven't seen the customs guy.
All right. Oh, and just a little bit after you guys are sort of getting back on the ship, there was a handful of militia soldiers that sort of hup over into the area, looking to see what the fuss was about, and they look around for a minute. People are pointing in your general direction, and they just kind of, yeah, whatever.
Everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
As you guys are boarding the boat, Amira will stop Sir Randall and say, by the way, it's Inara.
Anara.
Shiny.
Isn't that the same name from?
It is technically
Firefly.
the same name, yes.
Okay.
Why do you?
Like,
Why
I
did
know
I
it-
say shiny?
Well, I
It's
wasn't
appropriate.
sure. I'm like, is that shiny?
So while you are boarding, while the immediate danger has been averted, she has not loosened up yet. And in fact, as you guys are getting on the deck, she tells you that she overheard her master and the other guy, Don Marco, talking when after she had gone back to report in, and says that they were talking, or they were saying that Don Marco had actually sent a letter on a ship headed toward Campeche, and that letter is accusing yourself and your company of smuggling, and that the letter is bound for the Lieutenant Captain General of the Yucatan, and it will ultimately result in your ship being impounded.
Captain Hayden, are you hearing this?
Did?
Seems to
She
me that we
said-
must make as all haste.
She says, she points out toward the exit. Hang on, that way, and says, "That ship, it's called the Mercurio, and you can see that it is currently rounding the corner out there and making its way up the bay." And she says, "It's that one. Has the letter."
How would we stop such a ship?
May I speak
So-
with you privately, Sir
Absolutely.
Randall? We'll step aside, and the captain will say, "How much do you trust this woman? Is it possible that she is playing you?"
I think that, yeah, let's see. Delusional,
Don't
charming.
mean any disrespect, but you are quite partial to the wilds of a woman.
Yes.
That's one way to
that's-
phrase it.
That's an interesting cool.
You're a man horse, sir.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
No
I
offense.
have as I've been reminded, I have intuition.
That's true, you do.
Having to remind him about his character.
Well, it's funny because I was looking at all my disadvantages, but I didn't even think to look at my advantages.
You know,
list.
so this only came up. The only reason I happen to remember that is I got into a slight argument with the GM from last week with regards to something he had Damien Rush say to me. I'm like, I don't remember Madam Cassandra warning me about him. So I went back and listened to that section in that old episode. I don't remember what it was, and it was like there was a bit in there where you, Com Junkie, is like, blah blah blah. Oh, hey, I have intuition. I keep forgetting this. So I'm like, oh yeah, he has intuition.
All right. Well, as I see it at this point, you have basically 3 potential answers to the question of whether or not she's telling the truth. There is yes, there is no, and there is some. You may roll like you into the box at, I believe that's going to be -3 for 3 answers. I may be wrong about that, though. I can't remember the last time I've actually used that.
Let's see.
Intuition 63. Yeah, that's how that worked.
There's a roll.
Mark, you could also use luck.
Yeah, I do intend to use luck, I guess.
Bonus equal to the number of good choices. Penalty. Okay, so it's going to be basically even.
Oh, so not a -3.
Fair enough.
And I don't use luck unless I don't need it.
Well, I won't tell you if you don't need it.
2 more rolls.
Very well.
And I'll sit there pensively, like I was like, and think about it, and if it was like all the math above my head starts calculating and everything else, and
Sir Randall can rationalize it however he likes here, but his gut kind of tells him she's probably telling the truth here.
Yeah.
Because why would she come back here and lie?
So yeah, it's like I absolutely am honored that you would give you feel free to give me your opinion, and I greatly appreciate it. And while I totally understand the concerns here, I don't believe in this particular case she is telling a lie, and I do believe that she was in danger of those men. That her telling us this would definitely be something that Bonsignard would do, and to risk putting herself at risk to tell us this seems out of character from what I do know of her. And I'd leave out the whole part that I think she's hot too.
So if we leave without customs clearance, what's the repercussions of that?
They don't lower the chain.
But how do they know that we've been cleared?
You have papers.
Oh, do we wave papers at somebody on their way, or?
Somebody's going to have to come over and look at them. It is, however, you guys being experienced seamen and experienced in the Caribbean, at least for a couple of months nearly, it is customary to grease those skids.
Yes. So I will, leave customs to me. I'll see what I can do to speed this up. And I have an interesting, weird question. Is it possible to sneak up on a boat at night and sneak on board? This is just forward planning and brain
Depends
thoughts.
on the boat and the situation. You've actually run into that situation before. Back in Kingston, you had people trying to swim up to the boat with a friggin' bomb.
Right. But I mean, at sea.
Oh, at sea? Oh,
I would say
good
that's
God, no.
really difficult.
Yeah, I would think so. How would it be? How would we delay that particular
okay.
ship if we were to?
I see where you're going. So, strategies that I can think of off the top of my head that your character would probably also think of. You can either
Campeche.
blow up the ship so it can't go anywhere.
Woohoo!
Probably not first choice.
Oh, that's
You
pirate.
can catch up to the ship and try to talk to them. You can get there first and head them off. In motion, I don't know what other options you'd really have
Right.
other than those.
Okay, well that
I mean, you could
that's
potentially
fair.
get somebody else involved, I suppose.
How would we? Would there be a way to prevent them from leaving this particular port and slow them down?
If you
Grease
got
some
an earlier
palms?
start, maybe.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Maybe you could grease some palms so that
And
their
make it
customs
seem like
clearance is invalidated.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
that's
the issue with that is they're on their way out already.
Wait, where's the chain? I thought it was at a harbor point where they have to.
It's
show
at
their
the
paper.
exit. Yeah.
So they still have to.
Hold on.
They still have to get there, show somebody, wait for somebody to show up, show them the papers, and then the chain to lower, and then carry on, right? So there is some time that they have to deal with. Where
Where the hell did I put that?
what if I was able to convince a
Right. Chain is here.
right?
You are here-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So it is here-ish and making its way out. So you have to get to customs and get them to release you, which will take a little bit of time. By the time you get back to the ship, they are going to be through the chain and on their way.
Okay. Anyhow, all right. So first things first.
Unless you could
seems like-
report that they're doing something illegal.
And they
So
can get to there first.
Yeah, but then they're going to have to react to it. They're still going to be out of the chain before anybody can respond. I mean, they could shoot at it or something, but they're probably not going to.
Right. All right. So darn it. Anyway, that was kind of hoping that I could do something along those lines. But if that's not the case, then off to customs. Then it seems like I must be getting my way to customs and getting us out of this port.
Are you taking anybody with you?
Hayden seems to know a lot of. Well, Hayden needs to keep the ship ready. So.
Hayden can't speak Spanish either.
Oh, that's right.
Kelly,
Um,
can you set up like a group
Mr.
chat
Spencer,
so-
if you have a moment.
Right.
We need to apparently we need to speak with these customs agents and get them to release us.
Oh,
What did Spencer say to Amira?
I was waiting for the GM to notice that.
Oh, right. Yeah, I meant to get back to that. Okay, so Spencer, while Sir Randall is talking to Captain Hayden off to the side, you do have a brief second where you could speak to Inara.
He's gonna probably say quietly under his breath in Spanish. So it's like mostly for her, flat out that Sir Randall has not read the letter from Boissonade.
She is. You would take her expression as a mixture of relief and horror.
Yeah, that's one of those where it's like, yeah.
And you made some rolls earlier. What were those for?
Did I? Oh, yeah. When she was telling, I
Telling the
did
story.
body language and detect lies.
Okay. Yeah,
And she's
your
going, hey, yeah, the ship is doing the thing.
your impression of her body language at that point is sort of shame/subservience. In this case, you feel like she's probably she does not think she deserves to be here, I guess would be how I would interpret that. And as far as whether or not she's lying, given that it doesn't seem appropriate, logical. Having said that, apparently, given where I put you guys, the customs house is not as far away as I was thinking it was. So it is right there,
How
actually.
convenient.
So you don't have to run that far, apparently. And the rain has stopped, so you won't slide past it. All right, so
So before
Randall
we
rushes out, grabs Spencer, and heads off to the customs house to expedite matters. How much
are we
are you
leaving
going
her
to
aboard
expedite?
there, sir?
That's a good question.
Of course.
No, you should probably ask her to stay.
Oh, well, that's true. Like, because again, overconfident, probably, definitely impulsive is like for your safety, my lady.
So he runs off the boat,
Just go.
runs back, says, "Stay here," and then runs back.
Stay.
All right, you'll go run over. We won't drag this out too much, but you'll run over to the customs house, bully past whatever queue is in there, and say, "We need to go right now. Can we get this hurried up?" So, how are you going to execute this?
I'm going to come up with some elaborate, plausible reason that we have to be released now, and
Maybe. That would be hilarious.
have no one's mentioned to me if we've actually been inspected already.
No.
We have been inspected already, haven't we?
No, we haven't.
No, they haven't come out to inspect yet.
Maybe I can make it seem like we have already been inspected.
Well, you have a manifest, and there's nothing on it.
No, that's true.
Nothing but provisions. So really, you could just go in there and wave some money in his face, and that might be good enough.
It's true. The only thing that I could have bought here was tobacco, and that's all over the place.
True. Trying to see if there's a way I can grease the skids, and make them amiable to hear me out, and without money.
Well,
Yeah.
anybody got any ideas in that regard?
I have diplomacy, appeal to their kindler, gentler natures, and some
that's
fast
probably not gonna
talking.
work.
Well,
Fast talk is
diplomacy
typical.
Yep. Well, I was thinking diplomacy to make them, amiable towards me, and
Okay.
then fast talk it out with any bonuses.
So one thing you can do here is something that I picked up out of social engineering, is the same way that it works for intimidation, where you use specious intimidation. That is, you roll fast talk to convince them of something is true, so that when you make the intimidation roll, you get that bonus. You can do the same thing with other skills. And so in this case, you could use fast talk to make the situation seem like it's really dire and you got to get out of here. And that gets you a +3 on the diplomacy attempt to convince them to let you get on with it.
I would say, but yeah, okay. So I
That
think
is
that's where we're
referred
going.
to as manipulation, by the way.
Well, with his dishonest face and my honest face, we just kind of like,
I guess you two cancel each other out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will definitely be pulling in my savoir-faire high society into this.
Would you use, let's see, I don't know if you could do all of them at once, but you might use one or the other.
They're both the same, so
Whichever way you want to. Do you want to give and take here, or do you want to impress upon him your position?
I think give and take in these particular cases.
Yeah, right.
So situation's dire, and I'd like to make sure we get out of here, because I wouldn't want any of my crew to make anyone in this port ill.
Ooh, there you go. That's thinking. All right, bring it. Actually,
could
how is Spencer going to help?
Could I
sorry.
throw in a medical angle where I'm like explaining the illness of the once he says, "I don't want any of my crew to get ill," and go, "Oh yeah, like Mr. Red," he's starting and then start describing symptoms that are not as dire as I'm making them sound.
Why the hell not? I'll take it.
Yay!
Okay, so what would that be?
Physician? Maybe diagnosis.
I think I'll go with physician, in which case he will use much larger words than normal.
You have a much better command of the Spanish language, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll get him the assist. So that is +4 to the diplomacy. And your give and take here is that, look, if you
Oh,
just sign
man.
off on this, nobody has to go over there and get exposed.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm going to
And
go ahead and make a roll
succeed
like
by
he's actually going to get
13.
this.
You succeeded by 13.
I know.
Dude.
I almost saw that 5 turn. I'm like, oh please. I saw 1-1. I'm like, oh, this would be the best time.
That was a very average roll. All right. Yeah. He is horrified at the idea of sending anybody over there onto your plague ship and says, here, just give me the damn paper.
It's just
Stamp,
upper
stamp.
abdominal distension.
Get out of here before you cause a problem.
Absolutely, sir. No, we'll make sure we'll leave your port post haste.
All right. Well, you've managed to
Well
cut down the
said.
delay.
Yeah, as we leave. Well said, Sir Spencer. That's not really all that true, right? I mean, we're not all like going to like have blood coming out of our eyes and noses, right?
Well, who knows?
Did I say that?
Well, you did kind of allude to it.
But did I say that?
No, honestly,
you said
did I?
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly, did I say that? I missed it. I missed it.
well, you didn't leave. You did leave a lot to the imagination. I'll say that, but it worked. Just hoping that was an embellishment.
Okay, well,
Oh,
you
my.
guys hurry back to the ship and give everybody the good news, wave the papers, and Captain Hayden can give the orders.
We are clear to leave port.
Cast aside the mooring lines, Mr. Whoever normally takes care of that.
Whoever's on it. You just yell and somebody does it.
Well, we've got sufficiently small crew that he may actually call people out individually. And that's right.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Mel
So
is
you
totally
guys,
right. I went full Dr. House on him.
you guys got 8 up on the control roll, so you have 0 problems getting out of dock, except
Dun, dun,
that
dun.
as soon as you cast off the mooring lines and start backing sail to get away from the dock, you see that somebody is passing behind you guys and is apparently having some trouble getting turned around and is delaying you somewhat. They will move on. It wasn't much of a delay, but for a minute there, you were starting to go, oh, yeah, right.
Does it seem deliberate?
No, it doesn't. These guys are clearly just not particularly great seamen and having a bad day. Let's see. So, as you guys are casting off and getting going, actually, no, I'll save that for later. You guys are busy at the moment.
With Hayden's general seamanship experience, are we slower or faster or roughly the same as the boat we're following?
Okay, so as you guys are making your way out, you can see that other ship that she pointed to, and you break out the spyglass. You can see that the name is in fact Mercurio. This is the right one. And it is a, it is a brigantine, a little bigger than you guys, 65 tons. And
All we seem to run into are ships that are a little bigger than us.
well, it's because you're really small.
We need a bigger ship.
Well, we can
There's
always
nothing.
upgrade by taking theirs.
There's nothing that particularly stands out to you about this ship, except that you guys are fairly evenly matched. as far as performance goes, probably. You can give me a perception-based seamanship roll if you like, if you wish to expand on that knowledge.
I do.
Wow.
Damn, by 11. Just
Nice.
damn.
Your quick observation would say that their handling of the sheets has been pretty spot on, and that she's riding a little low.
So we should be faster and able to catch her quickly.
Possibly.
Until she opens fire with the cannons.
I would say get all the cannons that we want ready to go and then hail them that we want to parlay.
So it's going to take you a good 30 minutes or so to get out of the bay, and they're already hitting open water out there. Which, by the way, you can see the surf outside the bay is pretty heavy. So you're not going to be in for some chop once you get out there. But you did manage to get out fast enough that you are catching the outgoing tide. So you're going to be okay, even though the winds are pretty anemic right now, and not being very helpful. While you guys are in transit, you've got a bit. People can let out a breath here and there, and Hoop goes over to Inara and welcomes her back. You'll note that Dora has been kind of watching her from her perch and sort of raises an eyebrow now and again, like, who the hell is this?
Honestly, I'm probably watching her too.
You have heard a bit of muttering from Mr. Mockridge about a woman on board, to which Mr. Sherd points out that, well, but there's Dora also. He's like, well, yeah, okay, sure. And you will also note that, at least Payne will note, as Inara passes by Mr. Furlong, he gives her a good check out on the way by, and then looks back at Sir Randall and gives him an approving nod.
He totally gave you a guy nod.
I know, right?
In the meantime, where's she going to sleep?
Well, because, Randall's all kind of impulsive. He didn't think about that.
No, he didn't, did he?
All right. I
We have a couch, don't we?
I have to go below and start, trying to figure that out.
FYI.
Yep.
So the tall image, actually both of these images are of the same area. Actually, I guess the other one is better. You will note back here that there is a settee there. This happens to be the captain's side of the ship, and I don't remember exactly. Actually, let's find out. Who went where? We put we put the captain on this side, and then Payne on the other side. So the side that you're looking at in this image is Payne's side. Now, last week we discussed that there are actually partitions available that you could partition off the cabins. Have you done that or not? Does
Yes.
Sir Randall sleep in a closed cabin?
I would probably say yes, and especially for Dora's sake, we would probably have done that because
now
I'm sure
the section that she's
Spencer
sleeping in.
would've.
The section that she's sleeping in is in that direction.
Right.
That's the next one over, and that one has its own partitions. But you also have Claude sleeping in there too, so you've got the two of them in the bunking one over the other.
And the crew's probably also kind of thinking, giving Claude the, hey, way to go. Sleep in the same area that Dora. Way to go.
It's the only way she can get only way Claude can get a pleasant conversation.
Probably initially kind of planned to, I guess, hot bunker in my bunk, and then initially probably sleep on the settee, leaving her, being the gentleman I am, her a bunk, and I'll sleep on the settee unless she's up. Then I'll sleep on the bunk, or we'll figure something out. Or we hot, depending on the shifts, hot bunker on Dora's bunk,
Right.
potentially.
That's possible. Okay, so this other image is forward of the those cabins, and you have the settee here, which has got its own little enclosure, and then to the other side of the companionway door, in that direction is Dora and Claude. FYI, so there's that settee, and then there's the one at the back here. The one at the back is also right next to the head, and so there's a bit of in and out over there. So now that you're
ultimately,
oriented,
and because Randall's probably now really just coming to the understanding, like, oh well, now bunking is probably a problem. Like I said, he'll probably play the gentlemanly thing and give her his bunk initially, and then come up with some kind of work with Hayden and Spencer to come up with, all right, is there a way we could give at least and he's not entirely sure about, he doesn't know about Claude, and potentially even bring up putting Claude back with the rest of the men.
will he bring that up to Claude?
Well, I would bring that up to the leadership. I wouldn't bring that up to Claude necessarily. And I'd probably assume Spencer would be like, no, it's perfectly fine.
I am going to assume that these conversations, being on a small ship, are probably hearable by others in the general vicinity,
Right.
and remind Claude that Claude actually has a hammock on his character sheet.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else does, but I know Claude does.
Nope, I don't. I should get one though.
Well, if somebody wanted to give up their bunk and sleep in a hammock and had, say, for example, personal planning points.
I've only got one of those.
So
I've already used mine.
if Claude overhears this discussion, he'll run over and say, basically explain he's got a hammock and he can give up his bunk and set up the hammock in that same area where Dora is.
Oh, well, there's not enough room in there to hang a hammock, but you could easily hang the hammock in the hold anywhere you like, pretty much.
Yep.
There's probably some other spots in there where you could wedge it in, get out of the way.
All private, like, or semi-private.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's hanging out in the hold most of the time. Okay, so Claude is going to give up his bunk for Inara and sleep in a hammock somewhere else.
Maybe up here with the cat.
Indeed. All right. Well, that's
You're
that
most
question
gracious, Claude,
settled.
and I
So
thank you for this.
you guys are probably going to be discussing that for a while you are in the process of moving out. And I think at this point, so once you guys hit the chain, you guys will get cleared to leave. They'll lower the chain. And there is a fairly strong current leading out of the entrance to the bay. But fortunately, because the tide is going out, it is helping you instead of hurting. And you get dumped right back into the deep ocean. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, wait, not yet. That one. And off you go. You hang a left out of the bay and start sailing.
So Randall should probably chat to the with the new passenger.
Oh, of course.
Indeed.
It's like,
I mean,
what? Yeah.
you just basically abducted her.
Well, I guess that's sort of true.
Said, "Come aboard. Now stay aboard. We're leaving."
So
I hope you didn't have a kid or family back there.
So
Well-
I guess the big question is what is this going to do to his one in every port?
I know, right?
This is going to change that.
Yep, this will change that.
Well, if she's around,
Well, it's not that he is. Well, technically,
in every
really-
port with him.
That doesn't count. That's breaking the spirit
Now,
of that.
it definitely will have some like, hey, we're going to this port, and I forget. Oh yeah, she's here. Uh-oh.
Just
And
make
I
her
know
stay on
how
the ship.
I know how many of them are baby mamas too.
Oh boy.
I think it should be all of them.
That's just because you're mean.
Well, maybe.
All right. I am going to call for a brief intermission,
Lame.
and then we'll get into the next part.
Okay, go on break.
Use it or lose it.
Okay, we're back.
All right. Getting on to the sailing part. I need, well, okay, almost. I need two things from, I guess I'm going to have Payne roll it. I need 2 reaction rolls.
Can we see the ship ahead of us?
Yes, I will get to that in a moment.
Boo.
Okay. Boom. Like Sonara. Mia does not. All right. Settled.
He's a cheeky.
And next thing.
Well,
Okay, so
Cat's
for the
just
record,
jealous.
you guys are going to be doing a quote-unquote chase. This is not going to be using the chase rules necessarily. What is going to be happening is you guys are going to be on the same course. And based on how you do during the sailing thing will determine whether or not you get ahead of them or you stay behind them. For the record, right now they are about 10 miles ahead of you, which is well before the horizon if you're up in the tops. If you're on deck, it's still before the horizon. They're not that far away. Definitely far enough, or definitely close enough that if you use a spyglass, you can probably see what's going on the deck. Potentially, I guess that's 4x, so that would be effectively 2.5 miles. Yeah, you probably can't make it out too well still. At any rate, let's see. So, do you need anything on that? I will show you this map wherever it is. I did not put it. Why didn't I put it on there? That's a
'Cause
dumb
you
thing to
suck.
do. I'm gonna put it on there now. Damn it. That is where the hell?
Over there. No, not there.
Not helping.
Why would you think I was?
Okay, there.
Well, that's a
so
map.
this is a closer, more detailed map of the area where you are going. You'll note that the magenta line there is following what is an actual trade route to Campeche or thereabouts. And yeah, so you know that the two ships are following essentially the same path. And you can kind of see what you're going to have to deal with on the way. Since you guys did plenty of research, you note that there are shallower waters at the north of the Yucatan Peninsula, but not so shallow that you're going to have a problem. It's not like crossing the Great Bahama Bank or anything. But beyond that, you've got the Yucatan Channel to deal with, the Gulf Stream going north in between the two, and that's pretty much the extent of the potential problems. You also know that the Yucatan is really flat, and so you have to be pretty close to it to even see it while you're at sea. I will probably mark your progress on that map, which I should not have closed. All right, I'm gonna fix that. Done. Fixed. All right, next bit. So, yeah, 10 miles behind them, and you'll get to make your rolls, and we'll see if you can catch them up. Next part is stability. So, what we're gonna do is roll will for everybody. You can roll it openly. You will add born sailor or born seaman if you have that. I don't think any of you do, except for Rogers. And if you fail, you will gain 1 long-term point. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there are some mods, though. Hold on. I think I had you at +1 to your will. Everybody make a will +1. And it looks like everybody's going to be okay. Barely.
3 by 6 by 10 by 3 by 0.
Let me make a note.
Claude's just
Spencer
getting
is
used to
6.
sleeping in the hold.
Claude is 0. Now, these numbers can change throughout, so be aware of that. By 3, depending on how things go. If you have a bad day, that could lower that, so Claude could end up getting stressed. Let's say that correctly. Hayden is 10. Hayden is just fine. And Sir Randall is, which one? 3.
Hayden's probably recovering stability points.
Maybe.
Well, that's kind of hard to do with, a bunch of other dudes around.
He's
So
at
for the
sea.
record, I've already rolled for everybody else on the crew, and I know what their status is going to be. For the record, during the voyage, if you would like to, for example, try to make the morale situation better somehow, you can have the opportunity to do some stuff and potentially get them some bonuses.
I'm going to play my
And
musical
yourselves.
instrument.
If you play badly, it will not help.
I got a 13 in it. I'm not terrible.
Of course,
Quite competent.
you're gonna have to play while riding this ship in choppy waters, so that might be interesting. That said, so that morale boosting, just put that in your hopper as a thing you can do. So travel endeavors. Last time, the only stuff that we had going on was Spencer was copying Davino's journal, and I was going to ask how far into that he has gotten at this point.
I don't know. Did I not?
Did you put that on the sheet? I thought you had.
Maybe. I'm looking. I'm trying to get there.
Oh, you put that under research, magic-y stuff. So you got 15 hours in that?
Yes. And then I wrote some stuff down. I just have to find it.
Okay, I don't remember how many hours we said it was going to take, but I think you've got a while. By the way, Andricus, Mr. Spencer is in the process of copying Palange's journal.
Well, as long as it doesn't break it.
And
Yeah,
in the process, he's learning all this stuff. You will also be able to put a point into Hidden Lore Hunters if you desire, if you're actually reading it. And if you're not reading it, you can use it as a manual, and that will allow you to default Hidden Lore Hunters should you need to, which you normally can't.
How do you properly spell her name? Since I have it as Mira, I need to change it.
Way ahead of you. Actually, only slightly ahead of you, but never mind that. All right, next bit. So, right, does anybody have a long task that you want to accomplish during the voyage? I had mentioned or meant to mention the idea of Hayden doing training as a long task like that, specifically for navigation and whatnot, just command in general, I suppose.
Hayden will be doing that.
So rather than the way we've been doing it, we'll just consider that a long task. You're teaching everyone, and they will gain the benefits of that. Claude is attempting to learn navigation and is therefore benefiting from this training. I presume that to mean that Claude is taking special or additional attempts to learn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if anybody has anything else, the only other thing that I'm aware of is that Davino has previously said that his SOP during transit is to prepare cartridges and that sort of thing. So anybody that needs cartridges made can potentially go to Davino to have that handled.
So Claude is just one more thing that isn't going to come up right now, but is kind of a long-term plan. Claude is actually going to probably approach Dr. Spencer about learning how to read.
It's
Hey,
funny.
and
We
I
were
have
just
a,
having a discussion about that.
I have a 13 in teaching.
Yep. And Claude was tossing up between Dr. Spencer and Randall, and then it's like Randall is all over his girlfriend right now. So
Yeah, that's going to get annoying real fast. So given
Well,
that,
no, because honestly, I'd put her to work, or we'd find something for her to
Damn,
do.
so she's
damn.
late.
Oh, that's not right. Okay, that's not at all what I meant.
Uh-huh.
One
Uh-huh.
pimp to the next.
I know.
Wow. Dang. You guys are just wrong.
We're not the one that
so-
just abducted a lady and impressed her into service.
So as far as Claude's learning to read is concerned, you only need 1 point to get to broken or I guess that's called semi-literate. And basically, you will be able to take as much time as Spencer is willing to take to train you.
He's at
Amara's also speaks fluent Spanish.
Yeah, and speaking of doing that with teaching Claude how to read, if it gets out and other members of the crew want to get involved, then yeah, that's probably fine.
And that will undoubtedly happen as it becomes obvious that Claude is being taught to read. Some of the others will kind of poke in and start picking up some stuff here and there, and maybe eventually.
And the absolutely hysterical thing that I'm thinking needs to happen is I'm going to teach him, whatever, to read using Davino's journal,
Right.
because that'd be just funny.
And
Somebody's
so,
like super superstitious, going, "Wait, what is this?"
so 6 months is up, and the entire crew knows how to read, and they also have hidden lore hunters.
nice.
I can dig it.
Except the one that said no and broke and grabbed the cannonball and went over the side and just went straight to the bottom.
All right, so we are going to do the daily travel as we have been. We had been having Nosh do the control roles, and he is not here, so someone will have to sub in for him. Having said that, we will get right to it. First off, we need the navigation roll. You get a +2 for the equipment and a +2 for coastal travel at this point. You are following the north coast of Cuba and will be for the entire day.
All right, and that was Captain Hayden
Mm-hmm.
by 13.
Wow.
Jeez.
He didn't even have the assist like he normally does.
Nope.
All right. Next, we have the control roll. Whoever's going to do that. The mods are handling -2. The sea conditions are actually not that bad right now, -0. And you guys are not shorthanded because these sick guys are continuing to work. So -2 is the extent of it. That was
Do you
a
not
seamanship
just
roll.
roll that off Roger's sheet? Since
Well, I'm
technically
not
he
gonna
would be
roll.
doing that.
It doesn't need to be his skill roll here because that technically he's not the one driving. But
Davino
this
doesn't
is.
do anything. Make him roll it.
I was leaning toward making Davino do it. I think he may have been doing it before.
That's
Wow.
lame.
Okay. Gonna be like that today. Wait, how's he got?
7.
Oh, that's Hayden.
Yeah. That's
you
why I
can't
said
do
lame.
that.
A lot better than my seniorship.
Yeah, but that's the point.
It's more fun if you roll.
It's more fun if somebody else rolls. Somebody else roll.
I withdraw my roll.
But not G. Roll that dice.
Oh no, here we go.
-2.
Alrighty, -2.
It's okay if you fail, by the way. It's not going to destroy anything.
Oh, hey,
I'll
hey,
take
but
it
you
if I
didn't.
want.
All right. Yeah, today was easy. All right, next is the lookout roll. Speed is going to be 0, so no modifier.
Roger. High five.
Done. All right, well, that's going to get us 13, 14, and 19. Jesus.
Bomb.
So I'm gonna put you down for 19, and I am. I wonder if I shouldn't have made a cap on that. So, that's interesting. And so noted. Let's see, where does that put you? 60. Damn.
Did we already arrive?
No, you did not.
You
But-
were to catch up.
Okay, so for the day, the wind has, as previously indicated, was really light, and so you guys were not moving particularly fast today. And it was also coming from the northwest, at least when you left, and the countercurrent basically meant that you were not moving very quickly, comparatively at least. Toward the latter part of the day, the wind shifted a bit more north and was a little more favorable. That's probably where you made most of your progress. As stated, you guys are moving west, curving toward the southwest, following the Cuban coast. And where is my map? I needed the ship token.
Where's the ship
Yeah,
token?
screw it. I'll use the other one. I'll just use the other map.
If you do a search in the tokens box,
Yeah, I need to
if
remember
you type
that I
ship,
can do that.
it'll come up straight away.
Okay.
Or is
Well,
it
anyway,
sail?
you guys are going to end up somewhere around here. So you didn't make all that much progress in itself. However, you actually passed the ship you were following, the Mercurio.
Ah, awesome.
They were apparently not handling that change of wind as well as you were. You were way more prepared for it. So, question I have is, how do you pass them? Or rather, do you pass close by, and or which side do you pass on? And I'll tell you why I'm asking, because
They might shoot at us.
first off, if you were hostile, you would pass on the windward side, which would give you the wind gauge and put you in an advantageous position against them. Generally, if you are being subservient, or you are saluting another ship, for example, or if you just want to seem less hostile, you pass on the leeward side. So,
Well, the captain will relay that information to Randall for him to make the decision.
So,
two
We wanna
questions:
get-
which side and how close?
well, I would say we probably don't want to come off as immediately hostile, but if we could potentially parlay with them and maybe get that letter off of them, would be advantageous. Or do we want to plan on, since Hayden's probably made it very apparent that we're going to overtake them and take a prominent lead on them, would it be better to wait and catch them as they approach port and then try and get a hold of that letter, which gives some fun, in a meta sense, gives Claude some fun opportunities to practice her skills at acquiring interesting things.
That sounds like a perfect time for intuition, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's been an hour, right?
How is the mail normally delivered? Is it taken to
By
an
ship.
office, or is it... No, once you're in port, is it delivered to an office, or is it handed to like a customs officer or something?
I don't think there is an office for that or anything. If you're delivering it to some guy, then you go there and say, "Hey, where is this guy? I need to deliver a letter." I'm not aware. Well, I mean, I guess they have postal services. I don't know if they have post offices that way.
Perhaps we could pretend to be a postal officer and intercept the letter before it gets to where it's going.
Oh, that would be highly irregular. Yeah, nobody. You shouldn't know that they have a post on there. And also, you're an English ship. You're flying English colors, and they're probably not going to want to stop for you because they're going to think you're out
No,
to get
I
'em.
mean once we hit port.
Oh, when you hit port. Well, that's another.
Yeah, so we pretend to be, the person that they're normally delivering post to.
Well, you got a while for that matters. Half a week to a week. Okay, so Sir Randall checks his gut to see what he feels like. The number of potential answers here is either stop or don't stop, I guess, or attempt to stop them and don't attempt to stop them. And so his gut, he's kind of thinking, if we just keep on like this, we're going to beat them there by days and can do whatever we like.
That's
It's
true.
true. You could get there and schmooze the guy who's the letters for, and basically mention, yeah, this dude back there in Havana, totally hates me and was like lying about all sorts of stuff.
That's true. So carry on then. Pass on the safe side and I don't know, flash our warmest greetings and good sailing to them.
Open the gun ports as a sign of respect.
Absolutely. In fact, have everyone with torches near the, waving near the, near them so that
Everyone
know.
bury your bottoms at the other ship. To the windward rail. All right. How close do you want to get to him?
Out of cannon range.
Right.
So a bit. You can shoot out to a mile, so you're not going to be very close. That's fine. All right. So, having said that, we will move on to the next stuff. So, as stated before, the sick list for today is Mr. Sherd, and Mr. Furlong has indeed begun to show symptoms and is feeling poorly. The physician is seeing to them. They are in the process of making their health rolls, which have already been made behind the scenes, and we'll see how that goes. Also, Miss Inara is pretty much out of it for the entire day because she is barfing over the rail.
Right.
Welcome to the
Probably-
sea.
Probably also should have had, you should have tried to get as much information from her as possible about this whole escapade that we're involved in.
Oh, well, yeah, it does, knowing that we're going after treasure and that I have no love of Bonsignor, does she have anything to provide information?
That is not what I meant. I meant the whole letter thing.
Oh,
Minor
that letter
correction.
bird. It's, oh,
She is not barfing over the rail. She is just, quote unquote, miserably queasy all day. -2 on all decks and IQ checks, blah, blah, blah. She didn't fail quite that badly.
Gotcha.
Also, as the day wanes, you spot, or rather, you get the call out for sail or actually ship, because there weren't any sails, which is why it was kind of close when you spotted them. There is a sloop off to the larboard, inward toward the shore, and you didn't see it particularly well because it had bare poles up there. The sails were furled, and as you closed past it, you see that it appears to be beached, or rather, it is on a shoal or a reef or something, and the occupants are clearly trying to get off it. You will also note that the Mercurio, which is at this point a couple of miles behind you, does not appear to be vectoring in their general direction. In fact, it is staying well offshore. Captain.
Hayden will quickly look at his charts. Do we see any reefs marked where this boat is potentially
there are
grounded?
reefs all over the north coast of Cuba. Yeah, it is definitely jagged up there.
With the spyglass, can we see anything that would suggest a potential threat in them?
What would you consider threatening?
Like lots of guns.
Your observation would be that they appear to be busying themselves trying to get off the reef and don't appear to be armed or pointing arms in any general direction that you can tell.
And do they seem to be going about it the right way? Or are they
Well,
flailing about?
tell you what, give me a perception-based seamanship roll. Oh,
Man,
right.
I'm rolling well.
I forgot to mention that they're flying Spanish colors.
Success by 11. You are rolling well.
Spanish merchant colors. And I totally should have had that flag out here. Damn it. And my flags are not working. I completely forgot to fix those. Yeah, I can't show it to you anyway. So you got a real good look, and you figure they don't look like they're flubbing it. It looks like they'll probably be able to get off there in a few hours, maybe.
And they're not hailing us or anything. Just,
You could help. It would be helpful.
but they're Spaniards.
They are Spaniards. That could be good for international relations.
Wait. But
Can we sail near enough so that we could holler to them?
If you like. You guys are moving pretty slow, actually.
Because perhaps we could find out where they're headed, get some information.
See if they want some help. Because, hey, we've passed the one dude once already. Certainly we can do it again.
but.
Yeah, I'm just throwing a
Oh, I
Throwing an
know.
option out.
And it would
Alright.
be good to make friends.
And then you could shame the other ship later.
And they might even pay us.
Well, if there's coin to be had,
Seems unlikely. But who knows? You can make
Well,
a
it is
really
a-
good impression.
It is a merchant ship, so maybe they have some goods that we could trade.
Yeah, you don't have anything to trade.
Yeah, we don't have anything to trade.
We have our help to trade.
So if you give us some stuff, we'll help you.
seems very mercenary of us.
Oh, sloop's a bit larger than us, as I recall.
Depending. But yeah, this one would look to be probably 100 tons, so it's a little bigger. Actually, it's twice as big.
Besides, would they really want us Brits helping them when their friends are just behind us?
Well,
I mean, they haven't waved us
suspect-
out. They haven't waved us out and to seek our help yet.
No, they have not. They had not attempted to signal anybody.
So there's no signaling, and there is a Spanish ship right behind them or behind us. If I would figure that if they were truly in need of help,
So will Captain Hayden make the call, or will he consult with the partners?
Well, he'll consult with Randall. This is his charter.
Well, this is his expedition, at least, anyway. All right, Sir Randall, then.
Oh,
Hayden will give all the information that he needs to make the decision, and how much it'll slow us down, and such.
If
Well-
you guys actually render aid, it could be hours.
Yeah, I would. Randall's going to opt for. I think they, you said they seem like they're doing, their normal duties in this regard. That if they haven't flagged us down to say they're in distress, and if necessary, there is a ship coming along behind if they do become distressed. So
This is a
And there's
high traffic
Spanish.
area.
So I think that they'll be fine, and we'll be fine.
How are you?
I mean, I'd like to, but it's like we are kind of in a rush, Captain.
Yes, sir. Mr.
Very
Rogers,
well.
see us pass clear of the ship on the, what was it, larboard side?
Well, you're not going to be able to get the leeward of them. They're on the reefs.
So
Why
we'll
is
pass
it
clear
that-
anyway.
Why is it that Lieutenant Rogers keeps singing about someone being his neighbor?
We've never figured that out. All right, and with that, I think that is all of day one.
Pretty busy. day.
So you did not delay, and you are basically you're going to end the day 3 miles ahead of. So by the time the sun goes down, you're looking back. They're still a couple of miles behind you. The Mercurio is. They do continue on with their lights, so they are not trying to hide or anything.
Did
And
they
actually-
attempt to render help?
Do what? No, they did not stop. And as you had observed them, you would say that they look like they're just going about their business. Nothing suspicious. Nothing saying that they're in a big hurry or anything like that. They just seem to be doing their thing.
Can we see if the grounded ship tried to signal them?
They did not. At least they didn't. You didn't hear a gunshot, so you would expect them to fire a cannon off if they were trying to signal. And that is day 1, Tuesday. Next day. We need the day's business. Navroll, you have a +2 for equipment. You have +2 for still coasting, and you will have a -1 for the clouds. So that is going to be +3 total. So be it.
No,
Not
that's
as crazy this time.
That's incorrect. That was a minus.
Damn.
So that would be a succeed by 7.
Good God. Yeah, I didn't
Actually,
give
no.
you guys near enough credit.
That would be a succeed by 10, sorry. Because it was
10.
+3, right?
Yeah, is that right? Yeah, you're right.
So succeed by 10.
No, it would still be 7. You rolled a 10. It would have been.
No, because I put
Oh,
a
right,
-3 in there.
Yeah, never mind. 7. Got it. 10.
Yep.
7, 10, 10.
Succeed by 10.
Yeah, don't do that anymore. Don't screw it up. Next, control roll. That was Davino was doing that. Handling -2. The
We should make Mel roll it.
sea state. Oh,
Wow.
that's right. Good. Sea state is -1. And you guys are not shorthanded, so that is going to be the extent of it. It is going to be -3. Seamanship.
-3, seamanship. So close.
Fail by 3. So that will offset a bit. Not a problem. That is not enough to. Actually, no. What is the stability rating? Stability.
3.
3. Yeah. So you're good. Don't fail by more than 3. All right. So good. And lookout roll speed will be -1, and that is it. So obviously, you guys are going a little faster today. Holy
Booyah,
God.
critical success, baby. By 9.
Well, all right. So that brings our total to 10 -3. 7 + 9 is 18. Jesus.
You can see the pirates 2 days in the future.
I know, right? Thought this was going to be more of a challenge. All right. Let's see. So that's. Oh, wait. Wrong guy. So that is going to be 18 is -2. That one is going to be 8. That one is going to be 18. All right. So noted, and that is going to put you guys there while they are there. I think that is going to change the situation just a hair. All right, so the end result was +18. And you will find out that the opposition did not roll well today. Okay, next thing on the agenda. This is Wednesday. It is time for a spoilage check. Let's have
And Mel volunteered for that.
Mel volunteered for that,
she
so
wants
go for it.
Yes.
All right.
16. Her dice
So
are back.
that means we need 1d6.
Mark, you haven't rolled
Oh,
anything.
you know what? I totally forgot to reset the provisions.
Ooh.
All right. Well, yeah, that's rough. Okay. Well, if I recall correctly,
We've got weevils.
Came in this freaking wood that Red brought aboard.
When one is to choose between 2 weevils, which would you choose?
Always choose the lesser of 2 weevils.
let's see if I change it to that. Okay. Which means so By your calculations, specifically Spencer's, you guys had about 13 days worth of food. You now have 8. So good thing you're moving fast.
Right. Well, I found Boom in there eating all of the food, along with the cat.
Let's see.
He gets hungry. Stop complaining.
Yeah, he doesn't want to eat that. No, you guys picked up some provisions in Havana to top off, and apparently they did not preserve those correctly. So -5 days. Noted. All right, so for Wednesday, day 2, it was cloudy in the morning. The clouds increased basically all day. The winds were better, but after you guys make the westward turn toward the end of the day, or I guess the middle, the winds kind of slacked off. So you were making real good progress while you were still on the coast, but after that, the winds kind of screwed you. So your course, you continued down the Cuban coast around midday.
It's one
You
hell of a journey.
basically, so on oh god, who did that? How is it that this keeps getting turned off?
That's by default. Sorry.
Yeah, but I thought I had
had to-
already turned
I
that
think
off.
it resets it every time. It's really
Oh,
irritating.
that'd be really irritating if it does that. Okay. Well, anyway,
Where
so-
is that the right location?
that is where you were, yes. So that point is where you guys are making your westward turn, and before that, you had basically had the Cuban mountains off to your left-hand side the whole way, basically staying within sight of land. So real easy to navigate that way. And once you make your turn, as the mountains are basically fully astern, then you continue on out into open water, going to southwest by west. And about an hour or so before sundown, actually, in your case, it's going to be a little earlier than that, the mountains finally disappear below the horizon, and you are fully out of sight of land. And as the evening progresses, the current crossing from left to right increases, and by definitely by midnight or so, you guys are definitely hitting the Gulf Stream, and you can feel that current causing you to slip. Throughout the day, sick list is Red has a really rough day and is kind of out of it. Furlong is still sick, but he's managing. At some point during the day, at some point when Spencer is off shift and is getting some sleep, this may be in the evening or the morning. We'll call it the morning. It's probably morning. You have had a rough night of sleep, and you're still off the Cuban coast, and you wake up a bit roughly, and in that little cubbyhole bunk you're in, you look up and there's a spider crawling around, and it tells you to tell the Slayer that it is being hunted, but it must beware the red man. And then it skitters off. I need you to make a roll in the box.
Oh, what kind of roll?
Just make a roll in the box. I meant to have you make that before, and because I did not put it in my notes before, I failed to do so. Let's see. Okay. Oh, that's not nearly as high. Okay. And that's basically it.
Okay, so the player remembers I don't remember what her name was, but the spider lady in fairly early on. But as I recall, none of the characters, including Article, actually remember it. It's like when
Actually,
we
Article
left-
doesn't remember it either. He just saw it in the.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, including Article. None of us remember it, so he would be like, "What the hell?"
Now he does know about it. He just doesn't remember actually talking to the Spider Woman. Regardless, at this point, he can't really tell it. Was that the phantom voices, or was that something else?
That's true. And I am absolutely not going crazy. Now the question is whether he bothers mentioning it to anybody. I don't think he's going to bother mentioning it to anybody because he doesn't remember the event actually happening,
Very well.
and that will totally come back and bite us in the ass later.
Sometime later in the evening, as you happen to be on deck, Surrendel is with Inara, and she asks, "What's up with Dora? What's her deal? Why is she straddling the bowsprit all the time? I don't get that."
It's something she's taken to enjoying and helps her cope with the stresses of the sea. And I kind of, when she's not looking look at Spencer with that, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I've ever heard her say anything.
Oh, that. Well, she doesn't speak. I think she speaks Dutch, correct? But she doesn't speak.
Oh.
We don't press her on it. She
All
communicates just well with Mr. Spencer here, though.
Well, how do they communicate?
Who's 100% not paying attention to you. If you hear his name and you give a smirk and go back to whatever it was he was doing.
So, end result was that by the time you guys had hit the end of the Cuban coast, you were no longer able to see the Mercurio.
Whose crew is going, damn, they are hauling some butt.
They were clearly having some issues with the currents or something there, and you guys were not.
This sail discipline is lacking.
Well, it's also because we have the best dang captain on this side of the world.
It doesn't hurt. So, given that, day 3. That's right, it is Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Okay. This being Thursday, day 3, you guys expect to be hitting the Yucatan coast. Let's start with the day's business. Nav roll. We have equipment +2. We have -4 for the current as you're crossing the Gulf Stream. And that's it. So -2 total.
Expecting a 3, Brian.
Yeah, it'd be about right, wouldn't it?
That's pretty lame.
Finally.
Success by 1. That is horrible.
Maybe they'll get a chance to catch up to you. All right. Control roll. We need handling -2 and -1 for the sea conditions. That is going to be a total of -3.
Come on, Ethan. Expecting a 3.
Are you really?
Apologies. Could you repeat that?
-3. Seamanship.
-3 seamanship.
Control roll. Don't fail by more than 3.
Challenge accepted. Hey. Oh. Well. Hey.
Well, it's not 3, so that's a start. All right. You starting out even today. Lookout roll. Your speed is going to be at a -2 today.
Is that it?
That is it. Yeah. So here's where you make up ground, probably. Or
Maybe
not. Okay, well, you guys don't have a super day. How weird. Damn, now I gotta go look. Okay, well, hang on. Write this down first. Let's see. So you are +0. And let's see, what effect does that have? Yeah, not enough. All right, fair enough. Let's see. The crunch work is done. So today it is very warm. It is 80+ degrees. And you have steady, pretty strong winds from the northeast that kind of rotate all the way around to the southwest throughout the day. So for a while they're in front of you, and then they get up under you and behind you a little, which is not unusual and super annoying, as I recall. Around 1500, a couple hours before sundown, it does rain for a little bit. The clouds have been there, but not too bad. Your course is steady as she goes, southwest by west. You guys had hit the Gulf Stream overnight and are well through it by the time the sun comes up. And after that, you can feel the current starting to let go and then shifting toward a following direction as you presume you have hit the coast or the northern coast of Yucatan, which you can kind of tell that the water has shallowed somewhat. You are no longer in the trench, but it's not so deep or not so shallow that you're going to have a problem. And given that the land being as flat as it is, you don't see any land. You still just see nothing but water. So as far as where the Yucatan is compared to your current position, you really can't tell because you can't see it. But you hold your course. Sick list. Looks like Red and Furlong both have recovered. Although they are still down 1 hit point. They will recover that before the journey ends. Sometime during the day while they're on shift, there is a conversation going on and with Mr. Bold. And as those of you that are on shift at the time, actually, who is on shift at the time? Having said that, I don't think Davino's seen the watch bill. Who's on shift with Bold? So it'll be Rogers, Davino, Claude. So you guys will catch this part of the conversation, and Bold is talking about how he's done a little of the math and thinks after this 6-month stint is over, he might be able to go off and get his own boat, maybe strike out on his own. Somewhat later, you will also catch Ollie and Red talking as they're changing shifts, and you will overhear quietly that Red is changing his bet from African prince to former pirate. For those of you that weren't here to know this, there is currently a pool on what Mr. Bold's background actually is.
They need to come to me to keep track of it.
They may have to come to you at some point because they're not all the best at math
I want to put down
or writing or reading.
I want to put down like a shilling that he once canceled the apocalypse.
I don't think they're going to understand that. But if you're getting in on that pool, let me know.
No, I'm not getting on the pool. I'm probably not even aware of it.
Also during the day, Inara, who is still, she is after the second day, after that first day when she was having such trouble with the motion sickness, she pretty much got used to it. As far as you can tell, she's not been affected by it since then. And she's been kind of busying herself and decided to take over or assist with cooking for the day, trying to make the best of the remaining provisions. They may have had to cook some extra just to keep it from spoiling, and she does pretty well with the cooking for having so little to work with. Nothing but salted pork and whatnot.
Wow, does anybody else on the crew actually have the cooking skill?
Nope.
You don't need the cooking skill to cook.
But if she's got the cooking skill,
If
You
she's
know
got
what
the
she
cooking
does?
skills, she can do it well. Survival will get it done that you can eat it.
yeah, I don't have that either.
I'm assuming that seamanship will probably suffice in this case for sea-related rations and that sort of thing. Kind of like all the recipes for MREs if you're in the Army.
Gotcha.
And other than that, there's really not a whole lot going on this day. So the moon is at first quarter and increasing. It's starting to get somewhat light out at night, and it's still cloudy at night. But yeah, otherwise a reasonably pleasant day, aside from the rocking. And that is Thursday.
Right.
Friday.
Need to pick up the pace.
Yeah, you guys didn't make as much progress. By the way, you still can't see the Mercurio.
because they crashed.
No idea what happened to it.
Merman.
You think? I'm just
Oh my
glad
God,
that-
has he? All right, has he told her? Has now Payne actually? No, he had talked about the whole merman thing back in Habana. So
Yes.
she's heard the stories, but I don't know if she realizes until
How
now
much
that he actually believes it.
Spencer makes that offhand comment, and I go, "You think? Wow! I'm just glad that they, we snuck past them. Then, could you imagine if they had, caught up with us, or tried to delay delay us?
I keep telling you,
Forgot
they're
to,
not mermen. They're
Forgot
self.
to move the ship.
Isn't that the same thing?
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Right.
Well, at the very least, if you guys are back and forthing about this thing, she will come to understand that everybody on the ship saw that big naked guy just flop on deck one day and then flop back off.
And then she
So
notes that
clearly
Red
saw something.
passed out again.
Yeah, Red's like crossing himself 3 different ways every time you guys talk about it.
I don't know. I was totally thinking he needs to, he's got a bunch of chains that he's wearing, and it's like, damn it, was it Benny in the first Mummy movie with
Right.
Fraser?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
he pulls out a crucifix, that doesn't work. Pulls out a Star of David, that doesn't work.
All right. So, day 4, Friday, 23 February. You guys presume you are on the North Yucatan coast. You figure you'll probably hit the turn southward pretty soon. And we start the business. So, navigation roll, equipment +2, tacking -2. So, the wind is going to be against you today, and you're going to have to be tacking back and forth. So, everybody's working pretty hard today. And you are also considered coasting at this point, so you get a +2, which ends up at a
+2.
total of +2.
Only by
6
6?
it is.
That's terrible.
He's underachieving today.
He
He's
is.
only mostly achieving today.
He's having a lot of coughing spits.
Let's see. Control. We've got handling -2 and 0 for the sea state. Means you have a total of -2 to the control roll, Davino.
Don't fail this time.
We shall see.
If you fail, fail by a little.
Fail by none. Well, look at that. You failed.
That roll looked better when I saw it.
It did.
Yeah, me too.
Like, ooh, a 4 and a 1. Oh, man, it's
All right, well, that's not too bad. All right, and the lookout roll, 0 for speed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
And that'll tell
not
you
terrible. Damn it. It missed. Success by 5.
something. That was an awesome roll, but yeah. Okay, well, let's see. So end result is 9. 9 is pretty good. Let me put that on the sheet. Make sure I'm on the right one. So you guys didn't get anything for that day. This one is -11. So noted. And that is going to put you guys, yeah. No, yeah. All right. Throughout the day, you still don't see the Mercurio. Today is warm, and the skies are clear throughout the day, but the winds have gone really weak on you, and so you are moving pretty slow. And they started out coming from the east behind you, and shifted to the west in front of you because of fucking course. And so, yeah, you guys are having to tack a lot, and that means everybody's hauling and easing and doing all this stuff all damn day and getting kind of sick of it. You maintain your southwest by west course, and you have not reached yet your turnoff point. You have noted that the shallow water is still shallow. That hasn't changed. And let's see, everybody's off the sick list, so nobody is sick today. You, during the day, let's see who got this. Your sighting. Oh, Yeah, the sighting roll is pretty good. At a good distance, a merchant ship was sighted well astern of you guys. As you went on, it appeared to be flying Dutch colors and looked like it had been coming from the south and sort of joined up. So it had rounded I guess that would be the eastern corner of the top of the peninsula and sort of merged in to the same direction you were going. But it is well behind, and eventually you will lose sight of it. Also, during the day, when on shift, Hooper ended up talking to Inara while she was on deck and started pestering her with 11 billion innocent questions about where she's from, who's her family, how she met Sir Randall, yada, 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 yada.
How did Sir Randall react to that?
Well, not generally the jealous type. He would probably just, if he's around to hear it, he'd probably just kind of make his presence known, but allow the questions that aren't offensive. And if he gets a little too, it's like, aren't you supposed to be working on something?
Uh-huh. So you just you corral him in a more useful direction.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let some slide. Because obviously it's a great way to get some information out of her too, if she's willing to answer
Why didn't
him.
you ask? No.
Well, I probably have. I just, but hearing it for, if any information she provides him is different from what I know, that gives me some interesting
What, are you going to
information.
throw her overboard? I mean, you did already
Maybe.
Shanghai her.
Who knows? That might be valid. But join the conversation until it gets a little,
right,
too probing, and then direct him to where he should be working.
Shepherding is the right word, I think.
Shepherd, yes, there you go.
All right.
Banter there's nothing wrong with asking questions, but, at the detriment of the job sometimes.
You note that she shies away from talking about her profession.
She's
And
apparently a cook now.
let me rephrase that. She does not offer
Define
any
her,
information about her profession and allows him to assume that she has none.
Right.
She is repeating some of the same stuff you heard from her previous stories that you heard about Amira Mercedes de Luna.
Something Spanish.
You suspect that this is for public consumption and not for real?
And I'm sure that, he will engage her in private conversation and, and learn what he can about her. If the topic comes up of her previous profession, it's not generally going to be something that he's going to completely shy away from. At this time period, it was,
it's an honorable profession.
It's a profession.
You do a job, you get paid.
Yep. So it's not like she was doing anything illegal, right? Or,
Okay. So question here then is Randall going to ask, are there some specific pieces of information that Randall will attempt to get at?
Well, yeah. As much as he's willing to say,
one at a time.
Because Randall probably assumes that she's a courtier of some repute, because Bonsenard has obviously used her, and someone of so a surprise that this is what she does isn't going to be that big of a surprise. So he'd probably allude to him suspecting that and allow her to elaborate.
If Sir Randall is hinting at the possibility that she may be a sex worker of some form,
but he'll make sure that she knows that
this is true.
Okay, and he'll make sure she knows.
She hinted that she was offended and threw him off the ship.
Well, and that but he wouldn't want to come at it, if she didn't talk about it, he'd drop it, kind of thing. But if but he'd also assure us like, we we all come from somewhere, right? I mean, you have that, he's probably not, all in his right mind with her because, he crushes on her. So those kinds of things aren't really, exactly. So.
Nope. There'll be no singing here.
Sir Randall is not the best at reading body language, but he would say that she is ashamed to admit it. You couldn't say whether she is ashamed of that
He's not the
profession
best,
or
but he's
ashamed because
trained,
she's
yeah.
admitting it to you.
Well, and like I said, he'd probably try and allay her, concerns. It's like, look, I'm not, the the cleanest guy ever either,
I could totally go, don't worry, he's a man whore.
Well, exactly. Like I could, that would be hilarious. I would say it in a gentler way, and Spencer just happens to be nearby. He's like, what he's really trying to say is.
Does that make it better?
That's probably not, because then she's going to start to suspect if you're just keeping her around for a little while and then you're going to toss her aside. So I'm absolutely going to do that.
Oh boy.
All right. Briefly,
The phrase
are there
looking for, Sir Randall, is rake.
are there a couple more questions you want to get
I look
answers
at
to?
Bears like, thank you, Dr. Spencer. I didn't know that, and I'm like, kind of poor.
Thank you so much. Somebody take the professor in the
with
back
like
and plug
that
him into
smile with the
rudder.
teeth, smile that isn't a
I
smile.
don't know why I try to help.
Like I said, any other quick questions that you want to get a quick answer to, hopefully?
Probably like, who were those men? And again, knowing, it's like, and are we, can we expect
Probably
trouble
ask
if we
him.
ever return to Havana?
Should probably try to seek out information about her linkage with Boissenard. I mean,
Well,
you don't know what the letter said, and
His name
caught
is
on
like
fire.
the telephone game.
Yep. I don't speak Froggish.
I didn't even pick that name. Com Junkie picked that name when he created the character. He should have picked one that was easier to pronounce.
One that I
Debois.
could pronounce, you mean?
So as far as further entanglements in Havana, she will basically say that she's lived her whole life there. She has no intentions of going back there. She doesn't have to. And if they do, they'll just avoid those people.
Very good.
She very much wants to leave that life behind and never see it again.
That's right.
Well, and
she wants to
will
become a lady.
warn her. Hey, she's in with the right crowd.
Is she?
I'm not kind of sure.
Yeah,
I know, right?
disapprove.
My father disapproved of many things. What's new, right?
So that actually comes up a brief question: is where is Randall in the succession? Is because for some reason I always envision him as a third son.
Yeah, he's probably not much, not very high in, the pecking order or whatever the
Did
proper
we not
terminology.
establish that?
I thought we had. He was.
I honestly
probably,
don't remember off the top of my head.
I'd have to go back and look on the site.
At any rate, next day, Saturday, 24th February.
This is when we sing.
And let's see. I am going to need navigation roll. You got +2 for equipment, -2 because you are attacking once again. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. Ignore that. Coasting +2 and -1 because it's cloudy. That will be a total of +3. And
Nice.
you're going to roll like that.
By 9.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry.
I really wanted
Vino
this to be more of a
will
challenge.
this up for us.
And then you had to go and ruin it.
Telling you, Davino
pleasure.
can foobar it up for you.
I guess. So control roll.
Here comes
for
the
Davino,
18.
handling -2. The sea conditions is -1. Total of -3.
Yep. Here comes the 18.
That'd be about right, wouldn't it? You guys just capsize right there.
Wow.
No, just a little.
Fail by one. That's not terrible.
All right. And the lookout roll, speed -1. Actually, hold on. Let me check that. Yeah, -1.
Maybe I'll give us the 18.
Seems unlikely.
Booyah!
Yeah, you're going to go the other
By
way.
8.
Good God.
Man, if I'd rolled 1 point better, that'd have been a second critical success.
Apparently, you noticed the rogue iceberg.
16 total. Good. Yeah.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Everybody's
You
like,
guys are not any
iceberg?
fun.
What?
All right. Well, let's see. That's going to make that.
Hey, I'm pretty pleased. I've only got 1 point in seamanship.
All right. And that means you are going to get there. Okay. Let's see. Where does that put them? Okay. Yeah.
Crashed and wrecked on a reef.
One can only hope.
So, yeah. Okay. Got it.
You should
Yeah.
use your luck to give them a really bad control roll.
77 of
Can he
I
actually
should do that to you. I suppose you could. That would be kind of weird.
We have
But
some
don't do
noobs there.
Okay, so rolling being over with, here we go. So today, it is cloudy all day with intermittent light rain, no sun, and it is, as Ollie would put it, it's a dreck day. Good Scottish weather.
What did he say?
You get what I said. So the winds are westerly and light. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Well, yeah, I guess it kind of is. Okay, so
get it right.
light winds from yesterday eventually build to a strong southwest breeze into the evening as some kind of weather front moves through. Clearly, a lot of the rain happened right around that period. You guys had turned southwest by west or southwest by south fairly early in the day, actually, and started making your way downward toward Campeche itself. And let's see, that's not going to be right anymore. So let's say probably afternoon, sometime in the afternoon, you're going to be able to start making out a long line of green off to the larboard side from one horizon to the other. So you get the call land, and you're basically following that coast on in through the rest of the day. Nobody's sick today. Sometime around before noon, you guys pass a little bit of floating debris that as it gets closer, you identify that as bits and pieces of what looks to have been an old shipwreck of some kind. There is no sign of an actual ship attached to it anywhere, and it looks like it's been in the water for a really long time. Also, today, at some point in the process, probably around one of the turning points, you guys had made, no, actually, who's on shift with him?
Hey, our map hasn't been
Stand by.
updated.
Not yet. Let's see. So that would have been Rogers in charge at that point. So Davino and Claude are on deck while he is. And of course, it could have happened when he was off. You all will have observed that Furlong has been getting a little bit snippy today. Not really to problem levels, but it is clear that his stress levels have been building throughout this particular stint, and he's starting to reach the end of his proverbial rope. It has helped a little that now land is in sight and therefore the end of the journey, so he's started to improve somewhat.
I need to
Although-
use storytelling and tell these guys fun stories of,
You can totally do that.
Monstrous merman.
So you guys have been getting rained on all day too, which hasn't helped his mood. If you would like to use storytelling time to smooth things over a little bit, you can do that.
I will definitely make an attempt. Gotta practice my skills. Where's my storytelling?
Indeed.
Hey.
So you try to lighten the mood a bit, and it seems to have helped somewhat, along with the sighting of land. As you guys have continued on into the evening, or getting nearer to the evening, I suppose, you guys noticed some distance, 3 points abaft the starboard beam, which basically means a little behind and to the right.
Back
Uh,
to the right.
Heading the opposite direction of you guys is some merchant ship flying a British ensign. They are way too far out to signal or anything and look like they're headed back in the general direction of the rest of the Caribbean or possibly home. And additionally, Inara today had been feeling a little bit like a fifth wheel, and the rain probably hasn't helped her either. But as you guys have been getting closer to land, everybody's mood has improved, hers included. So, as stated, the land is very flat. It was around midday when you started to be able to first see it, and it improved continually as you went. And by later in the afternoon, as the sun is starting to go down, you are in full view of the port, and you can consider yourself having arrived.
Woohoo! I'm definitely going to make sure I get to speak with the customs guys about some slanderous things going on.
Now, a couple of notes. First off, as you can see, the this particular prospect image is a little better about the terrain. That's probably about right. That's about how flat it is. You will have noted on the way in that there is a big ridge hill thing off to the north, the left in the image, and then a smaller one off to the right, which looks like it may have a fort on it or something. Also, this place is really shallow, so it's kind of like the harbor around Harbor Island, only really big. So the bigger ships, like a full size, 500,000 ton ship loaded, they have to anchor like 24 miles offshore just to be able to anchor.
That's certainly shallow.
So it's not just that it's shallow, but it's shallow for a really long way out. Now, where is that? So this particular image is very late period. So some of this stuff doesn't exist, like this fort up there doesn't exist, and that fort technically doesn't exist. But in general, this is more or less how the city goes. There are some outlying settlement outside the town, or outside the walled part of the town, and this dock down here extends. It may be actually for a mile. It's that long because it has to get far enough out to allow a boat to actually dock to it. Other than that, this particular image is also kind of deceptive about the size. So the scale, for example, in either direction, these forts are like a mile or two. So that is your orientation. As previously stated, it is sun is going down around the time that you are arriving. In fact, it is getting into twilight.
Ah, sparkly vampires.
Not that kind of twilight.
Whew.
Wait, yeah, no, not yet. You guys
Wait,
arrive
you mean
around.
there's going to be sparkling vampires?
It's.
When we
I
set
think
them
I
on
have
fire, they
you
sparkle.
arriving. I have you arriving at 17:15. Oh yeah, so you got like 30, 40 minutes before the sun goes down. That's better. Okay, so first off, you guys are aware of the shallowness, situation. You were aware of that beforehand. You guys had charts. You knew this was coming. Your charts will have also marked where the anchorages are, so you've got a pretty good idea about that, and you know that they're going to be pretty far out. However, your ship normally, or at worst, has a draft of 6'6", and right now your draft is probably a foot and a half, maybe more than that, less, because you are not carrying anything except some provisions, some of which you probably dumped overboard because they went bad. So, second thing, let's see, hold on, do I want to do that now or later? I'm going to do that first. So, as you are within sight of the actual port and all that, first thing you are going to note is that off in the distance near one of the anchorage points, you will see a familiar ship, which I have a picture of.
I think we're about to attack.
You will see La Dame Blanche at anchor, not as far out as a lot of the bigger ones, obviously, but
It'd be unfortunate if it just caught fire.
I know, right? So that one's not too hard to spot. You know that one pretty well. There is another ship. And as you are closing in on the anchorage areas, or the question I had about the anchorage is whether or not you wanted to actually pull up to the jetty or just go straight out to an anchorage point and anchor out there and boat in, whether or not you wanted to, how you wanted to interface with the town in that regard.
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think you can get the entire crew in that cockboat, so you'd have to make a couple of trips.
I mean, I guess I would defer to the captain if it's safe enough to get the ship to land.
You guys have a pretty good idea how close you can get. If you get a pilot here, they might be able to guide you through the best way to get in. There might be some deeper ruts here and there that you can go through.
Well,
So it's up
that
to you.
actually sounds like a pretty good plan. That gets us into the shore. I can start, telling them about, this terrible person back in Havana that, has it in for me and spreading scandalous rumors while we get a pilot to return.
Up to you. All right.
And it gets
Depends on how much it costs.
Right here.
Well, you will know as a base, it's usually around 3 shillings, or in this case, 6 reales for pilotage, based on your tonnage. So it's usually based on the tonnage. While you are considering those things, another ship at harbor or at anchor that you will note, and it appears to be pulling up anchor or readying to, is one of these. And the name on the back of that particular ship is the Fortune. Captain Hayden will recall that he had a conversation with one Captain James Button of the Fortune back in Santo Domingo.
How fortunate.
Fortuitous. But it looks like it's departing.
It looks like they're getting ready to go, yeah.
Is it loaded or is it riding high?
I'm going to say it is loaded. So,
Well,
do you wish to go flag them down?
Can you recap what the conversation was about? Because the player can't remember.
I don't recall what you guys spoke about, but it was you just I think he gave you some rumors about, it was something related to Cardinal Virtue. I think you may have actually known somebody on the Cardinal Virtue. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think your treasure map had fired at the time. But
Then I'll handle
from
it like
Hayden's
this.
perspective, it was just some random ship captain that he decided he wanted to go have a chat with.
Where is it? Hayden is going to go flag them down.
All right. So Hayden directs the ship in their general direction. You guys have not seen hide nor hair of the Mercurio all day. You don't expect they're going to be here anytime soon. So you've got time to kill, and you will head over toward the Fortune. And as you are approaching, they will fire a shot from a swivel gun in salute, and Captain Button will announce through the megaphone or whatever the hell you call that thing, and say hello and encourage you to come aboard.
Fancy meeting you here.
I'll instruct one of the crew to row Hayden over to them. What flag are they flying?
British.
Would it be possible to drop him off while carrying on with some others to the port to get a pilot?
I
you
suppose
converse?
you could.
Do
Well,
a drop
generally
off and...
the pilots will probably be coming to you anyway.
Oh, okay.
In fact, they're probably already on their way.
Well, if the pilot comes to us, we can catch a ride with the pilot back, with the other ship person back, right?
No, they will get aboard your ship and direct
Oh,
you to
okay.
wherever you go.
All right. Well, we'll give
In
Hayden
which case, you may not need the boat.
I guess Hayden will give over to Rogers, and then we'll have Rogers piloted in while Hayden speaks with his mate.
Just FYI, at the distance where they are anchored, if you are rowing back, it'll take 40 to 50 minutes.
Oof.
It's that far out.
And that's for Hayden to get there, right?
No, that's for anyone coming to and from this far out at the anchorage.
Oh, right. Well, we'd have to wait for them to come get us, and then we'd have to row in anyway, right? And we're pretty certain we're far enough ahead that we're not going to be like in a pinch should the Mercurio show up. We're well and truly.
Okay, let's start over. Are you going to send Payne or anyone else in a boat to the port first to do anything?
Well, I would definitely, Payne is weary about, the ship incoming, and his intention is to get way ahead of that ship and whatever rumors are coming with it. And he will express that to everyone. Or something? Could be. But he's also, there is also an obsession with, hey, if we can get here, we can start getting plans and finding out where and how Monsignard is faring, kind of thing.
Let's do it this way instead. So, as you guys were approaching the port, you noticed the ships and you noticed the Fortune. Captain Hayden decided, let's go over there and talk to the Fortune. So you started making your way over there. By the time you are in position to be communicating with the Fortune at all, at least one pilot will have approached and started yelling at your ship to see if you guys wanted any pilotage assistance.
To which we would agree.
At this point, the pilot will give you his price, and if accepted, will come aboard and guide the ship to wherever you're going. I don't know if you're going straight to the jetty or if you're going to anchor somewhere else. And the captain, Hayden, can either get in your cockboat and row himself back to catch up to you, or you can wait.
Here's another question. Well, let's see. Monsignard, so the La Dame Blanche is anchored offshore, right? So they didn't go to the jetty, right?
Right. Now, there's only one jetty here, and you're not going to be able to stay there. And, so at some point, you're going to end up anchoring somewhere else.
So really, anchoring out here is just fine. We'll just have to make sure some of the crew remains with the ship and on watch, whatever we do
and
later.
It's going to take a really long time to row in and out of here.
Right. So I guess what we could do is then, unless anyone has any better ideas, then forgo bringing the ship to shore, because there's really no reason at that point to bring it closer. Not yet. And then have whoever wants to go shorebound take Hayden to the Fortune, drop him off, and then carry on and drop the rest of us off on land. And then, because I get with Rogers, Rogers can remain on the boat in command,
That's true.
and
It's his fault for not having a player.
right, so he can remain on the boat with command, and then we can fill up the boat with Hayden and anyone else that wants to go. So, and then a pilot to row the boat back.
Okay. I'm looking at it. I think the capacity of the cockboat is probably going to be about 6 or 7. So about half the crew you could take at any given time, which means if Rogers stays behind, you could get both the girls and maybe have somebody to row back.
Because we can leave Rogers in charge to decide if other crew gets shore leave or not.
Yeah. And at this point, if Hayden is going to stay here and talk to Captain Button, then you won't have to take him either. He can catch up later.
Right.
Okay, so is that the plan? You fill up the boat, go, leave Hayden here to make his own way?
Yep.
Done. All right, so you guys got a long row ahead getting over to the dock. In the meantime, Captain Button will send his boat over to talk to Hayden, and he doesn't have to leave. So, questions? Anything in particular?
Or Captain Button. He will just be asking if he's heard any updated information on the cardinal virtue, or perhaps rumors and such regarding Matthew.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, in the course of your chatting back and forth with him, he will let you know that they are, in fact, departing. They have a load of goods that they are taking back to Jamaica. So if you have any posts going back to Jamaica, let him know. He will take it. He has not heard anything new about the cardinal virtue, and given his connection to it in the past that I don't exactly recall, he might be interested in hearing if you have any.
He will also ask if he has ever met or spoken to a Captain Dupre.
Let's see. Well, what are the chances of that? Give me a universe reaction. It'll have to be really good. He has not. So, in addition, he will give you a couple of points of information. One, he'll give you the basic economic situation of Campeche here, so you understand what's moving right now, what isn't. And also, he will mention that the Inquisition is apparently in town. They sent a guy out here who's questioning somebody. Somebody got fingered for using magic.
The Inquisition.
Oh, crap.
What a show. We bet you wishing that we'd go away. But the Inquisition's here and is here to stay.
How much does Hayden know about Spencer and his stuffs?
That depends entirely on how absent-minded he's been about it. But I'm going to say probably not at all. He said, I would, and just speaking for the player, but he probably talks a lot about magic and about fairy stuff and all that. And all he's doing is talking about magic and fairy stuff. And it probably never occurs to anybody that he's actually talking about, oh, it's real.
And the 3 capabilities they have are all subtle.
Well, when the captain gets back, he will mention that the Inquisition is in Campeche, and it might be good for Spencer to speak less
Talk to one of them. Okay,
of the
yeah,
stories that he's been talking about. They don't take kindly to that sort of talk.
Yeah, they're Catholics. Yeah, they're weird.
At any rate, if Hayden doesn't have any other specific questions that he can think of, and I will let you retcon something if you do think of something. Although chances are
And
he doesn't know that.
I will use the ask the GM if there's anything important that I may have missed.
There you
Smart.
go. Yeah, I can't think of anything either. 'Cause I didn't have anything. I didn't have
That's
anything
smart,
planned
man.
for this. Just some general area info. So you've got some feed info for some current affairs and area knowledge stuff around this area, but that's pretty much the extent of it. I might add some rumors to that later if next week I come up with some.
All right, then
But you
the
got a little bit
captain will
already
just
anyway.
chat about stuffs.
Yeah, well, he won't hang around too long. He did say that they are in the process of departing, so they're about to weigh anchor, and he will bid you good journey and nice meeting you again and all that, and see you again later maybe if you stop by Jamaica again.
Well, bid him farewell and head back to our ship.
Let's see. So, the rest of you in the boat will arrive at the docks. You will moor, and you are. Oh, right. You guys were going with the pilot. Let me correct myself. So you guys are actually paying for the pilot.
He's a pirate pilot?
Sometimes. So what I would like for you to do is roll a reaction, or I suppose an influence skill if you want to preempt that reaction roll
Influence skill.
for a good result.
Diplomacy, right?
Diplomacy will work.
Diplomancy. Anyone want to add anything to that? Regale him with tales, news of the outside world?
I have a 12 in diplomacy, but I know I'm not the top diplomat type.
Yeah, he's not a face man. He's just a translator.
I was just seeing if anyone else like that was on the way. Okay. No worries. Here we go.
Well, Hayden has diplomacy, but I don't think he's there.
I was actually going to say that Inara would definitely help, but
Well,
you apparently don't need it.
I can. Yep.
She keeps him distracted. Yeah. So you guys bring the pilot on board. He asks you where you're trying to go. Where are you trying to go? Where would you like to anchor?
Second star to the left until morning.
Oh, for the boat? Where the? Well, someplace that he knows that we could quickly move out of if needed.
Okay.
That sounds like smugglery talk.
I will tell you then that. Where'd that map go? Although that map isn't going to be super useful in this regard. Actually, is that other one better? Not really. Okay, where'd you go? 1800. I scrolled past it. Okay, back to this one. So the sort of at the bottom edge of this image, on the side below it of that line, the shallows start to drop off, and so you can kind of get a little closer if you come in from the southeast. And his recommendation is to anchor over there. So he will take charge and guide you into as close a position as you can possibly get, and he does a good job. Actually, just because I haven't done it before, let's have Melissa do this, just cause. Roll on that table. Interesting. Stand by one moment.
No.
Now, just FYI, you can actually click on that button in there and it'll show you the image.
Doesn't work for me.
Does it not? I'm wondering if I thought it would share all those. I was under the impression it was sharing them.
Okay. Why do we care about the King of Cups?
Hang on.
I mean, he's a king and all.
Okay. Yeah, so the pilot that you picked up, he's big into politics apparently, and is talking about the mayor of the town, the cabildo, the town council, and all that, and basically complaining about how things are going around here.
How are they going?
So you'll hear quite a bit about the current political situation on the way over. But you can ask some questions if you like. I will tell you that they do. This is population 9,000, so it's a decent sized town. They do have an upper class here. Pretty much, they all live inside the walls. Surprise, surprise. And there are barrios outside where all the non-whites basically live. All the so to the south is San Romain, I think is the name of it, where all the indigenous people live, the Indians, and then there's at least a couple more around the town where some of the black slaves or freed slaves and stuff live there, and some more of the Indians and that sort of thing. But most of the white guys live inside. Surprising no one.
Well, trying to see if there's anything that he knows about the nobility that they're into, those kinds of things that should Randall encounter them, he can kind of play into their likes and oh, this guy really is into wines, or this guy's really into this kind of stuff, and I can play into their yeah, I heard about this, and play into their interests. That's it.
Well, he can't tell you much about the high life around here. In fact, when it comes to the upper class, he mostly curses and spits and says, "Present company accepted," of course.
Of course, I mean, I understand. It's way too easy for those that that with high and mighty thoughts to denigrate and look down upon the lesser, which is entirely which is entirely unfounded, because without the hardworking men and women, there would be no upper class.
That's
Well,
totally not the proper
I don't know.
mindset.
I know. I'm like, I'm trying. I was like, how would you say it that with? Yeah, I don't know.
well, given the time, I am going to compress things just a little, so we may end up doing a little bit of backtracking next week, but not too bad.
Skip a bit, brother.
So to handle that, let's see, we got that and well, yeah, we can definitely deal with those next time. What is the plan for dealing with the Mercurio? So right now you're arriving as the sun is going down, so you're probably not going to be able to talk to any bigwigs today. You could basically keep an eye out, wait at the docks to intercept them as they come in.
And do what? Punk them?
I mean, there is an option.
Snag the letter, or talk to them, ask them for the letter.
Stick Claude on them?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
But we don't know Claude has sticky fingers.
That's
the
true.
players do. The characters don't.
I know. I did. I think I.
Damn it!
Meta.
Just saying that, I should have had people rolling some perceptions every time she pickpockets something. Might retro do that.
Well, actually, see if I can find out where those who are that are in the customs field tend to hang out and party or drink or spend their free time, and catch them up there.
Okay, well, to give you better geography of that situation, these guys are coming in. They are a merchant ship. They're going to if they are loaded, so they are going to have to anchor farther out, which means they're going to have to boat in. And then they're going to come here, and this guy has a letter to deliver to a particular person.
Right.
That person happens to be one of the councilmen.
Right.
So
And
it's got nothing to do with
it's a
customs.
letter.
Customs
And it's
isn't going to be involved.
right. So, the letter's intent is to get us to claim that we're smugglers, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Which would give us, and potentially get our ship impounded.
That is the expectation, yeah.
So we've got to figure out who the councilman is.
You could do it that way. You could go talk to the councilman in the morning, perhaps, depending on when the other guy shows up. That's the only thing I can think of. You got basically 2 points of potential intercept here. Is intercept the letter as it arrives in town, or intercept the councilman and talk him down.
I would,
I can't think of anything else.
if there was, or attempt to do both.
Or you could try to do both.
But
well, why don't you just try to do both?
we could just try to do both. But I would need to. But if it's just becoming evening, then the councilman may have maybe, I don't know. He just goes home, or
You
if
could try.
He might.
Well, okay. Let's say if you
later,
if you talk to the councilman, are you still going to try to intercept the letter?
I would. Well, I honestly
That'd be a bad
probably.
idea.
Well, yeah,
because you're just like, hey, this ship's coming in with a letter that's full of crap. Then he goes, it didn't come in, and then they go, hey, we got jumped by some dudes. So it's like, oh, I guess you were a pirate.
true. Yep.
Well, I'm assuming you're not going to mug them.
I mean, letters get damaged by water or misplaced or lost in general too. If possible, and we can come up with an idea to try both, or have one ready to go in case the first one fails to achieve it what we need.
Okay, I think this is how I'm going to work it, just to make this smoother. Assuming that Sir Randall attempts to contact the councilman in question this evening, he will be unable to reach him for whatever reason, which we may go into next week. And he will find himself wanting to wait at the docks for whoever it is to arrive. If he does that, assuming that is going to be the case, who will he bring with him?
His girlfriend.
Well, yeah, she will be there.
What if she doesn't want to be there?
Well, I mean, she is a free person. I mean, I could easily roll higher than a 12 on it, or she turns into a damsel in distress. One of the two. It's kind of hit and miss with her. I mean, whoever wants to be there, really. I mean, we make the intentions known to everyone else and give them the option to take part or not.
All right. Other PCs. Does
Nah.
anyone else want to be there?
Nah.
Does Claude want to be there in case he needs to pickpocket the letter?
That would be kind of fun. So if Sir Randall asks Claude to go, Claude will be more than enthusiastic about the potential of, fun.
I'll definitely have to intercept this letter if I can't get a hold of this guy. I'm not sure how we do that, but
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Hayden, Palange?
Nope.
Pass.
All right. Hayden and Claude it is. And Inara.
Because
All
I
right.
want to see what kind of shenanigans they get up to.
So given that particular situation, you guys probably end up parking it out there pretty late. You got somebody keeping an eye out for that ship to come in. And it does in fact come in at
And explodes.
just before
Ooh, that would
sunrise,
make it
actually.
like-
Or is it right at sunrise? I gotta check.
Telling you, the boats
Sunrise. No,
randomly
hour
explode.
after sunrise. Sun comes up at 6:35. They arrive around 7:35. So, pretty early. The ship anchors somewhere out there, and they send a boat in. I actually have a couple of boats, and it takes a while for those boats to get there. So you've got plenty of time from whoever sights it to when you need to be out there on the jetty to receive them. You will see the first boat coming in. That boat clearly has somebody who looks like a captain aboard it, and that captain is holding packages, various packages, and that sort of thing.
Gunfire ensues.
Sink his boat.
How will you respond in general?
Oh, we're not going to try and.
Like I said, this is early. You may be in the process of trying to talk to him. He may have given you a time to reach him. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. My
Oh.
brain is not functioning.
I think you should just attack because that's totally unrealistic.
Well, I
Sink
tell you
him on
what,
his rowboat, just like bloop, and he goes down.
just to allow that process to happen later, you are going to see the captain as he's coming up. He's clearly got packages, and you know he's got the letter. He looks up at you, standing there, looking down at him, and it's like, what are you? Who are you? And as you are in the process about to open your mouth to engage with this guy, you happen to look back at the second boat coming in.
Uh-oh. Who's in the
And,
second boat? Who's in the boat?
That's the wrong friggin'
Maurice.
image. That's annoying. Hang on.
You did it right.
I changed that. Oh my god, that's irritating. Hang on. I'm not using that image. Where is it?
That's lame. We're having to hang on.
I went through all the trouble to update that stupid thing just so in the second boat.
No way. No
Cut to black.
way.
Wait,
Cue the
how
music.
did he get
Roll
into the
credits.
Wait, was he in the boat with with the captain?
boat? No, he said
was
the
it-
other boat.
It was another boat. I thought there was only.
Well, there were two rowboats coming over from
What a
Mercurio.
twist!
Is this the handsome Ned guy or is it
Yeah.
That
other
is
guy?
the handsome Ned guy, yes.
The
Yep.
fellow who
who's supposedly
Randall shot
dead,
in the head
but didn't die? Question mark.
showed up without a big wound in his head.
And accused you guys of his murder.
Well, he
Yeah.
wasn't entirely wrong there.
Attempted murder, maybe. Now, I mean, you didn't die. It didn't take.
Okay, so let me see what we have post-game stuff to do. XP, everybody gets one. Let's see. Stability. We will deal with the long-term stuff next time, and you will learn that basically everybody made the roll, so you will not suffer any long-term effects for the time being. And let's see, bennies. Who gets bennies today? I want to say Randall. I want to say Randall gets a
kinda
penny
drove it.
for doing his swashbucklery stuff, but then again, it's sort of its own reward, isn't it?
It is. I would agree. I would say Hayden, like, just racing us to the destination ahead of time.
Good God, that for wrecking the GM's plan, yeah.
That's a win for the player.
I don't know. I still think we would have been even that much more ahead of them, but
No,
apparently
you
we
guys
weren't.
were like 50 miles ahead of them. Yeah, you guys got there in the evening, and they got there the next morning.
Yeah, but it didn't turn out like we were expecting even then.
Well, I'll tell you what, since nobody has any better ideas, we'll give one to Randall and one to Hayden and call it good. And I don't think we have any rolls to catch up with. We did. Oh, wait, no, we did have something. Where did I put that? That is going to be down there. Right. Okay, so I did not get a roll from Claude for searching for Philip News. I don't remember why, but go ahead and give me a IQ roll in the box for that. Davino was not here, so I needed to have that conversation with him about SOPs. We'll have to. I'll get you offline if you will respond to that. In the meantime, I will go ahead and have you make an IQ roll in the box, and we will apply that as needed. Let's see. And looks like I need a roll, probably Savoir-Faire High Society for Randall in the box.
Oh, was that IQ roll for Davino?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the box, he says. In the box.
In the box.
Oh, stop it.
In the box.
Oh my gosh. Can I not just touch? Oh, there.
Oh my
I'm
God.
trying to grab
Yeah,
it.
you're having brain fail now.
See, now it's going to be like garbage roll or something. All my good rolls just got burned off. Can I use luck on that?
Would it matter? I wouldn't bother with that. This is just for rumors anyway.
But I need the rumors. I need all the rumors.
Well, let's see. So I need to write that down. That is and for pain. What did you roll? You rolled that. Okay. I think that's everybody with the exception of commerce stuff for Spencer, which I will deal with separately. All right. I think that's everything for me. So, late one today. Make up for last time. Anybody have anything before we sign out?
Nope.
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 Then, if you're watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Like and
Or keep it to
subscribe
yourself.
and all that. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Bye-bye.